Testing. One, two, three. I think you can hear me. Shout out to all of y'all. Welcome to Wednesday. It's New Year's Eve. Hey there, besties. What is going on? Shout out to all of y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. We are back. We are back. If you're working, sorry for your luck. I'm done. Done. Half a day. It was easy as pie. Because, like I said, y'all already know ain't nobody working. I don't even know why they freaking bother. I don't understand it. It's not for me to understand. Whatever, right? Excuse me. So it's it's 2026, y'all. It is 2026, and everybody is still effing crazy. Not y'all, but you know what I'm saying. So we gotta look back or continue on with this Minnesota, Minneapolis, whatever fraud, Ilion, Tim Tom. It will not stop, y'all. It will not stop. And y'all keep sending me Reaper, Lawrence. Shout out to y'all, DD, Night Jade, and anybody else who's sending me stuff. It is not a slight. It's just a lot going on, and it's only been one damn day. And it's a lot more going on, and a lot of people with different takes. And we already knew that racism would enter the chat. Didn't we know this? Did we not know this? That racism would enter the chat. Work until 5 p.m., but I'm off on Friday. Yeah, I got to go back in on Friday, but that's okay because I'll be working from home, so it doesn't matter. As long as I can work from home, it's all good in the hood, right? But I still got time left. It'll carry over into 2026. I've got 1 week down already, a vacation scheduled. And then I got a schedule for St. Martin. And I have a cruise on hold. I ain't gonna lie to you, got a cruise on hold. It's just sitting there waiting for me to make the decision on whether I want to do it or not. So we shall see. I'm still thinking. I got another 24 hours to make a decision. Anyway. So we got to get back into this, and maybe if I can come back later, I'm not sure. Because I know it'd be a lot of people streaming today, and get an update on Passport Bros. Not that it's too much going on, but what I wanted to do is maybe talk to one of the Passport Bros, not Jarello, child, no, Razor Rays, no, like more normal Passport brother, a Passport brother that want to come and talk to me. Cause I'm gonna ask y'all what the fuck. All right. So don't be sending nobody to me that's like gonna be like, that bitch. Then don't come here. Okay. Cause if you think I'm gonna be like, hey, how you doing? Fuck that. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? That's how it's gonna be. I'm not gonna be one of these CNN, MSNBC news reporters. Oh, this could be my opportunity for when hopefully I get my own show. I can showcase all my skills. Yeah, what? What? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm just wilding right now, y'all, because I'm off of work and I've had a great week off for I've been off most of the week. So I've had a great week off, and I'm sorry that it's coming to an end. You know how that go. You'll be off for a long time, and then it's like, oh, you got to get back to quote unquote normal. Hated it. 0 out of 10. Okay. But I guess we all got to get back to normal, right? Whatever normal is. So anyway. So let me go ahead and get into this because it's a lot today, y'all. It's a lot. So hit the like button. If you see the view, you don't like it, go to the stream or go to the channel, switch over to the other one. We got portrait, we got landscape. So whatever it is that you're looking at is probably a better fit on the other one. We don't want to hear it. Stop wilding out. If you're sensitive, you might as well scroll the fuck on because child, everybody can get it over here, and they do. Don't get in your feelings. That's it. That's all. So I think hopefully y'all saw the post where Trump said, we ain't giving y'all no more. We ain't giving y'all no more money. And you know people are gonna be wilding about that. Oh, how dare he? Because you know he's a 34 count criminal, right? Y'all know how it go. So shout out to the New York Post. Trump administration freezes all child care payments to Minnesota after massive fraud allegations. We have turned off the money spigot. Oh, Lord, I ain't heard the word spigot since I was a child. Don't worry, sensitive asses. That is not a racist term, okay? It's also known as a faucet, also known as the thing where you plug the hose in and water the grass from outside, y'all. car. Um, Trump administration is freezing all child care payments to Minnesota and demanding a comprehensive audit of the state's daycare centers as a mushrooming $1 billion fraud scandal engulfs the state's human services department. Child, these people acting like this just started yesterday, or be no shade against Nick. What's his name? Shirley, I think his name is. But let's we not act like this mess hasn't been going on. They got them other two that's already been went to trial and went to jail, and still nobody in Minnesota was causing a ruckus. They wasn't saying shit. They wasn't like in the streets picketing wild and there nothing. They just sitting there like bumps on a fucking log, just like, oh well, you don't know. Just let Tim Tom do whatever the hell it is that he wants to. Just let Ilyan continue to go from negative 65,000 allegedly to $30 million worth in less than 5 years. And y'all just gonna let that shit go. You ain't got shit to say? Y'all ain't got shit to say? All right, cool. Anyway. We've frozen all the child care payments to Minnesota. Deputy Health and Human Services Secretary Jim O'Neill wrote on X Tuesday afternoon. Child, is this how people get information now? You got to go to Twitter. Days after a viral video investigating alleged fraud at the daycare center in the state drew national attention. Imagine having to be like 23-year-old, because I'm assuming Nick. I know Nick is a Gen Zer. He had to go make a video in order for these jackasses to finally do something. All of them. Minnesota has received $185 million in child care payments from the Trump admin this year, according to Alex Adams. The funds will be released only when states prove they are being spent legitimately. Oh, no. O'Neill said Minnesota has funneled millions of taxpayer dollars to fraudulent daycares across Minnesota over the past decade, 10 years, and outlined 3 actions the department has taken in an attempt to cut off the flow of exploitable funds. The Quality Learing Center, anybody interested? Oh yeah, they're not taking nobody. You can't get no applications. You can't talk to nobody. You can't get in there. But if you want to send your kid there, call that number, child. The first action will impose the requirements for a receipt or paper or photo evidence, that makes sense, for any payments made to states through the U.S. Administration for Children and Families. O'Neill said he has demanded Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Tim Tom, conduct a comprehensive audit of the centers. Oh, so you're going to let the daggone Fox do the audit of the damn hen house? These dumbasses. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections. So you know what that should include? It should include the name of the child, their social security number, their date of birth, and their age at minimum, their parents, information, where they live at, their social security number, their date of birth, where the money comes from, where they pay the portion that they pay. Both parents, if they're involved. And then they need to be talking about, well, so where do they live and what's their portion and why is it that the state is paying for them? Because I'm assuming this is basically along the lines of purchase of care. So they go ahead and depending on your income, you pay a portion, they pay a portion, just like everything else. All this state government assistance that everybody wants, because, people only want shit for free. And so they should have all that paperwork, where they filled out the application, where everybody signed it, the agreement that they signed, the agreement where they signed saying that they would pay this portion and whoever would pay that portion. All that. They ain't gonna come. You can't come up with all that shit real quick. You cannot come up with all that shit real quick. You need all that. And you can't just say it. So anybody that's ever been on a work trip, you can't go and just say, oh, I spent this much on food. No, you got to give an itemized receipt. You have to. So it's the same damn difference. This is not crazy. Okay. In case someone later on tries to say this is a racist, even though we do have a couple people that are, at least one, saying that it's racist. O'Neill said he demanded Tim. Okay, this includes attendance records. Blah. He specifically cited YouTuber Nick Shirley. Now look at this government having to do something because of a damn Gen Z or a YouTuber child. Video published on Friday in which he visited daycare centers across Minneapolis, receiving millions in state funds that appear to be closed or out of operation. Third, HHS has launched a hotline and email address dedicated to reporting fraud at childcare.gov. So y'all just got a fucking email and a phone number for people to report fraud. Child, who is running anything around here? Everybody is fucking up. Everybody is fucking up. This is ridiculous. Whether you are a parent, provider, or a member of the general public, we want to hear from you. He said, we have turned off the money spigot and we are finding the fraud. So far, at least $1 billion in fraud has been confirmed by authorities and 92 people have been charged, 82 of whom are Somalian immigrants, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, which warned the number could be as high as $9 billion. Great. Something to look forward to. Anyway, so in order for our government to get to work, somebody on YouTube needs to go and make videos in order for them to make something happen, child. This is crazy. They all need to be voted out. Anyway, what I didn't get to yesterday or whatever day last time we talked about this was TikTok, because they always got something to say. So let's go ahead and look at some of these damn TikToks and see what they got to say, good, bad, and indifferent, and see if we could get a pulse for what the people have to say. All right. So this one, I got to step over.
To be honest, it's really disheartening to see a lot of people of color on my timeline and Hispanics, Black people being openly racist towards Somali people because,
racism.
First of all, let's break down this Nick's guy video. Okay. He goes to a Somali daycare. Mind you, he goes an hour before they open. It opens at 2. He goes at 1. He doesn't show the paper on the door. He blurs it out because it says that.
What daycare center opens at 2, Bueller? So she really up on this internet talking like, oh, he went there at 2 or an hour before they opened at 2. So that's not a red flag. I'm gonna have to call out to all the parents right now. If you had your kids in daycare. Now, unless it's a daycare that does night services for people that work overnight, nothing makes sense for a daycare to open up at 2:00. Take that shit back to Africa. Where the hell is Somalia? Is it in Africa, y'all? Take that shit back to Africa, because you don't open at 2 and you don't close at 2 in these here United damn States. People work in the day or they work at night. And even if they work midday, a daycare opening at 2 is a red the fuck flag. I don't care. Blame your mama. Y'all sound crazy. Y'all sound crazy. Okay, thank y'all. All right. Take that shit back to Africa. That ain't how it work around here. Not for childcare centers, biatch.
Hours of the daycare, and he got there before it even opened to make it look like it was closed and nobody was there. So, second point, a lot of these daycares have already been investigated and shut down, the ones that were committing fraud. That was years ago. And they're trying to connect all of this to the feeding our family, or feeding our future.
So I don't know what she's talking about, because the feeding family future thing we already looked at. Those are the people that got convicted a year ago maybe or so. And then the other what is it called? Not social justice, nonprofit organization wants to reapply, even though they had some fraud, but now they want to go ahead and reapply because they want to start getting some money turned back the fuck on now that the feeding family thing is all out of the way. But your theory, dumbass Gen Z. So here's some Gen Zers always talking and don't know what the fuck it is that they talking about. You're just out here saying that it's racism because somebody is because people are trying to hold these people accountable and they just happen to be Somali. People want to focus on the fact and say that people are doing this because they're Somali. How come no one seems to want to see the fact that the money is the problem that's coming from the government, where y'all be whining and complaining every day about some damn free shit, or you can't feed your kids, or you can't feed this, you can't do this, you can't do that. And now all of a sudden everybody's supposed to ignore it because they're going to find a way every single time to bring in some GD racism.
We like free stuff. So we came out here to get all this free stuff. But then the car saying, you can't get the free stuff. What? Cause the people want to take it. And how y'all gonna take some stuff that ain't even yours? It's free.
So I got my 2 baskets and took the bus or whatever.
Wait a damn minute.
We get down here, we get some free stuff.
We're already in a recession. Times are hard. Why not just let us get the items and invest and be okay? We are Black women. We care about our crown. Why not give back to the community and let us get the product? The tools, any other eviction.
Child, that's all I hear. That's all I'm hearing. So you wanna now try to focus it on being racism and people being against Somalis or whatever, instead of looking at the fact that they're taking money and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. There's no way that this person has kids, which is probably good, thinking that it makes sense for a daycare to open at 2:00 in the damn afternoon. Ooh, that's a good picture. Too bad that she's looking crazy.
program fraud scheme that was actually led by a white person. Yeah. And it's just really weird how people will be so fast to just believe something on the internet just because it looks like something, or they seem like they want to hate on something so bad, so they put their anger towards the Somali community because they are either racist, they don't like them, or they just want to be hateful and spiteful
All right,
against
I've
them.
had enough of listening to her, but the comments, a few of them said they're watching us tear each other down and they're laughing at us. This one says they're stealing money. Please be so for real. It's all a distraction. Same typical comments. Girl, I don't think they racist. There's actual money being taken. People are not wanting to hear the truth. It's sad. All right, so racism for the win.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay?
All right, now maybe this might be racist right here.
Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Woo! I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay?
Massive fraud out in Minnesota in the state welfare program has been.
This is all I know. I was only 3 years old when I came, and this is my home, and this has got to stop.
I'm not scared. So I'm citizen. I'm happy. I'm United States. I brought up America. I'm happy. So why you asking me? Some guys asking me, give me basmati, give me a green card. Why you asking me?
Almost every Somali person living here is a citizen.
There's more than 100,000 Somalis in Minnesota. Roughly 84,000 reside in the metro. The journey from Somalia started decades ago.
My family immigrated here to Minneapolis, to Minnesota in 1993. As my father says, we came to a cold place, but we found people with warm hearts.
My parents wanted to provide us a good opportunity for us to chase after that American dream, right?
Many fleeing from civil war, crossing continents for a chance to build something, a chance for their children. For Sumaya Mahmoud, her parents' struggle paved the way for her to shine. Despite the rhetoric, she's grateful to be Somali and American.
One thing they taught me was resilience and not letting, other people's perception of you limit what you can do for yourself. I was born in Kenya, and then I grew up here, started kindergarten, K through 12, all the way up to college here in Minnesota. So this is all.
The Somalia community in Minnesota is so cooked, just like the worst PR any group of people can ever get. This YouTuber called Nick Shirley linked up with another dude who's already been investigating fraud in a Somalian community in Minnesota, and they exposed $100 million infra from the Somalia community. They so cooked, this video here went so viral that the President of the United States reacted to this. I think this is a political issue. I think this is an issue of some really bad.
Yeah, you remember that heifer from yesterday? She wouldn't even stop to talk to the constituents. They will vote them back in. They will vote them back in because, child, that's just what people do.
This is a political issue. I think this is an issue of some really bad actors. Ronan, for everybody, if you're running a legitimate business and you have nothing to hide, if somebody comes and wants to register their kids to come to the daycare, I think the the least you would have is an application. This is not a ghost and is not fair. It's not okay to categorize all samples.
We've already talked about this yesterday. These people who are trying to say now just deflect. If you have children and you've had them in daycare, you know how daycares work. And Reaper, I did get your video. Thank you. You know how it works. You know if it's a daycare or not. You know if they have kids or not. You know if it's a shell or not. Like if I walked in and the door was locked, like people are really out here talking about daycares keep their doors locked. They do not. That is a lie from the pit of fucking hell. That's not how that works. You are able to come in there. You're able to come in there. So all of them trying to talk about, oh, it's normal for daycares to be locked. Them motherfuckers are lying.
As scammers and fraudsters due to the actions of a few. It's not okay to treat all Somalians poorly due to the action of a few. But we have the President of the United States responding back and sensationalizing and vilifying all Somalians. That's going to trickle down, right?
So in other words, as always, you know that everybody is always going to find a way to blame Donald Trump.
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Again!
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Going, you're being a racist! Racist!
Or heard anybody say anything about Tim Tom being bad? Has anybody said anything about yo, Tim Tom, it's time for you, overdue for your ass to answer some fucking questions? Ninja, how the hell you sitting up here running for vice damn president and your own damn state is fucked the fuck up? Why is it that honestly at the end of the day, if those other people have been convicted, why didn't Cam bring that shit up or know about it when she chose him to be the vice damn president nominee? Because they're supposed to do an in-depth review or background check or whatever you call it on the people and persons that they're going to select as whatever. But specifically, we're talking about the vice president, right? So that shows, in my opinion, how fucking stupid she is or how complicit she is to do the Democrats vote blue no matter who. Because there's no way on God's green earth, if this shit has been unearthed and people have technically been talking about it since I think at least 2015, 2016, 2017, right? And so when you did y'all's background check, y'all didn't see that there were some issues, some concerns people was looking at, people was talking about, nothing, nada. So y'all just let that shit slide, right? Y'all just wanted to go ahead and go with him because y'all thought, meaning Democrats, y'all thought that everybody would go for it just because he's who the fuck he is. And I don't even know who that nigga is, honestly. Before she chose him, I didn't know who that nigga was. It was not even ever a good choice. But she went and did that. And if y'all think that that makes sense, you're a fucking idiot on whoever can hear me right now. That the person that was trying to be your damn president didn't even know that the person that she chose as vice president had some issues in his own state. We see what's going on in California with Newsom, which is why I'm like, that's the person that I feel like they really want to be the nominee coming up. But that nigga can't even get California right. California, my bad. He can't even get California right. But y'all want him to be the nominee. Okay, child. Y'all keep on with this shit. Let me go ahead and thank Frederick Howard. I appreciate you for the super sticker as always. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, boo. Happy New Year's Eve to everyone. Please make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Ashy Foot, hey, boo. He said, have a happy New Year. Same to you, hun. I appreciate you. Tonight we're going to be at CIP's over on CIP's channel, Culture Invasion Podcast. Someone dropped the channel. I'm not sure if he's still here or not. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. We're going to have some fun like I did last year. I'll be there this year. Shout out to Trent. I appreciate you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, boo. Ashley Foot with another 5. Appreciate you, boo. He said, dang, I only scammed Kendra. Looks like I should have linked up with my Somali cousins. Child, it looked like everybody should be going to Minnesota because that's the way everybody can make it. Like Ilyan can go from negative 65,000 in debt, allegedly, to being worth 30 million in about 5 years. Child, what we talking about? That sounds like it's the place to be. Okay, he is here. Yes, drop the channel, boo. Drop the channel. Shout out to all of y'all. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
I'm the manager of McCombs Daycare. I want to show you what happened today.
I'm telling you, there's definitely a particular look. And I need y'all to remember before we get into more racism, right? I'm going to need y'all to remember. And for those that weren't here, we went through the TikToks where the Somalians were saying they are not black. They are not black. They are not African American. They don't identify. They are Somali. They was emphatic with that shit. Somali. I'm Somali. I'm Somali. I'm not black. We not black. We are not black. Remember this, y'all, because I ain't forgot.
What we came to.
ganacsigan McCombs Care Center-ka ayaa xalay 3 a.m.
Child, what are you saying? It says MAGA supporters break into the daycare in Minneapolis overnight. Yeah, I'm sure that's what happened last night. Okay.
Gala isi loo jabsaday.
Child, did they call Julesy?
Subka way jabsadeen sugdhankaan aan kaa tusaya markaas alwaaxa ayaa lagu xiray mutsalaalkii waa ujeedaan in la jajabiyey waa gudahana waa arki doontaan marka bannaankana ay ka jabsadeen marka xalay ayay jabsadeen miya
Yes, around 3 a.m. and then we came one loss again.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand how that equates to MAGA supporters. Well, how is it that MAGA supporters broke in? Where did they get that claim from? Desperate times, desperate measures, but some jackasses will believe it.
The YouTuber that was making the claims, you were here earlier today.
Yeah, is that the same person? Sorry.
I came here at 1 o'clock. You were here. Where are you now? You claim we're closed. You claim we're a fraud. Where are you? Why are you not here right now? It's like you're trying to put out a certain message about a certain group. I'm not gonna make that claim. I don't want to make that claim without me knowing him personally, but that's what it seems like he's doing from his front. Where are you right now? He was here earlier. He was recording us. We had no issue with it. We told him, hey, just get off our property. You can record. No, he's not here. He came outside of those hours and then claimed, hey, they're closed.
Oh, I think he's talking about Nick Shirley. Now he got something to say.
And they're still making money. They're using taxpayer money to work. And it's like, you don't come.
Child, just open the door and let us hit them crumb snatchers. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is open the door. That's it. If you hear kids, all right, maybe it's a daycare. If you don't, they full of shit and they be lying, allegedly.
Outside of operational hours and then say they're using taxpayer money. That was completely false. As you can see, we're open Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 10 p.m. He was here earlier.
2 to 10 p.m. That's only 8 hours. So who working between 2 to 10? Anybody in Minnesota? What are the hours of work down there in Minnesota that they only need a daycare open from 2 to 10? Where they working at? Where they work from probably, what would it be, 2:30 to 9:30? Because you got to get time to drop the kid off. Then you got to get time to get the kid back. Child, don't play with people who've had kids and had kids in daycare. Play that shit with someone else, okay? Who works from 2:30 to 9:30? Bueller? What job has the hours of 2:30 to 9:30? I'm gonna need this egghead to let us know, or somebody down there in little Somalia, as they call it. Lie to somebody else, full of shit, and make sure they use this against him if they need to, because he be lying.
So the accusations about fraudulent daycares in Minnesota has gotten even more crazy. First, you have some saying Americans need to mind their business.
Only Americans who's concerned with the Somali business is the ones who have no life. They have a lot of time in their hand. They broke. They don't have no money, no.
The daycare that could have spelled learning right that people kept saying was closed. Well, the owner came out and said his place is not closed. It's wide open. It's just that they only allow kids from 2 to 10. They even got the sign fixed, but they claimed they were never permanently closed. As you guys know, this all happened when the YouTuber Nick went around trying to expose all the fraud going on in Minnesota. Now they're offering $100,000 to anybody that can go to the daycare, health centers, or etc. on the list and prove that it's not fraudulent things going on there. Since the video, Homeland Security is now in Minnesota checking out all the establishments for fraud because social media backlash about how they claim the U.S. is not really doing anything about this. Regardless, I'm just here reporting the news. Do not come out.
If the Somali daycare center thing is true, I don't get why everyone's mad. I think we should get him an office at JP Morgan, Wall Street. Let's see what else they can do. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I think it shows a true embrace of capitalism. And I think it shows a true spirit.
Is it capitalism when you're stealing, or is that what she's trying to say?
Of entrepreneurship, you know? And I think it shows an assimilation into American society, you know? So, especially if you support the current administration, I really can't understand why you wouldn't just think, God, these people are brilliant. You know, Elon Musk does this all the time, as do billionaires all the time. And in just a few short years, they figured it out. And they're already well on their way to becoming young entrepreneurs that we all love so dearly in this country. And I just think that's beautiful.
Is this TDS at work right now? Is this TDS at work right now? Yeah, Jean Lay. Another liberal white woman who I don't like at all. We already have established that. I'll take that on. Not but me. Fuck you, liberal white women, okay? Because you say shit like this. There's so many people deflecting, y'all. This is why the United States is full of shit with some of these people who swear they're so fucking smart. They're willing to allow something to continue to be bullshit, right? Even though you see that it's wrong, you see what's going on, right? Ignore it because of something else. Like there's not always going to be something else. Like there's not always going to be something going on somewhere else. Just ignore this and go look at that. That's why everybody is crazy now, because it's always like, forget about that. What about this? Forget about this. What about that? Forget about that. What about this? And everybody is jumping all over the damn place and nothing is getting resolved or solved because of all this jumping around, because people too worried about what people think. Fuck this bitch, okay? We don't give a damn what she think. Liberal white women ain't who we need to be concerned with anyway. But then for her to sit up here and just be like, oh, it's the billionaires. I'm sure that you're contributing to that. I'm sure you're contributing to the consumerism that you can't stand. And all these people got all this smoke and all this shit to say about, oh my God, we don't want any. These billionaires making all this money, the rich people making all this money while they continue to pay for the things that are making those people rich instead of pulling the fuck back, stop spending so much money, stop doing all the shit that they do. It makes more sense for everyone else to change what they're doing to give money to y'all. That's what makes sense. Shout out to Kofa in the building. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. He said, we're mad because we started YouTube channels instead of opening a fake daycare. Yeah, maybe. I'm moving to Minnesota, child. I'm moving to Minnesota.
Somali politicians in Minnesota are now under fire after claiming,
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure.
A 23-year-old revealed
daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him in the autism center because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have?
Again, for those that have ever had kids in daycare, you would never go up to a daycare and they talk to you in the fucking cold. There's no way you're going to not open this daycare door and smell the foul ass smell of funky ass little kids. There's no way you're going to open the door, maybe at nap time, maybe, but there's no way you're going to open the door and not hear any of them crumb snatchers doing something, throwing something, crying, screaming, whatever they might be doing. No way. Ain't no way.
This autism center.
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5? Probably, so you don't really know.
Yeah.
What do you guys do think about the fraud?
Imagine coming to the daycare and also this person answers the door. Like, I'm not trying to be sexist right now. This is not the first person I want to see when I come to bring my baby, my daughter, or even if it was a son, is this nigga that look like he don't know nothing about even changing a fucking child or a baby. This is who you got representing you at the front door? Okay, y'all, make that make sense.
Or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer.
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here because there's.
So why are you asking us about
The fraud? Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to a legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot. Yeah. But that's her number. But this is we can't let you guys do so.
Okay. Thank you. So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve.
Because little Joey couldn't get into it.
Daycare centers, we're trying to find a...
I'll tell y'all again. Leave Somalians alone, okay? Leave them alone.
Here we go with the 92%.
I don't care that they created daycare businesses with no kids. I don't care that they said that their children were autistic and ain't a spectrum within that child's eye. We need to flip the script and focus on the real fraudsters, are the Europeans, and we're going to start with them Jews. And the only reason why they don't focus on it enough is because they run the media. Okay, did you see what these Jews did in Lakewood, New Jersey? Okay, they hit them folks on the head with millions of dollars. They were making millions of dollars, but still reaping benefits of welfare, housing authority, SNAP, you name it. Baby, they had it. And it's really unfortunate because now it's on hold. So for the people who really need the services, they can't get it because of these scamming Europeans. Okay, we need to amplify that, and let's not worry about our Somalian sisters and brothers. Okay, leave them alone. Leave them alone. I'll tell y'all.
You hear this, right? You hear this, right? Always on the wrong side of shit single time. And made this video and put it, this is only a day old. Leave them Somalians alone. We got to worry about all white people as usual, because you already know, but white people do it too. That's all I'm hearing right now. And I think she's serious too. I don't care. Sometimes it might be a joke. This time I think she's serious because there's always a way. She probably listened to Roland all day long. Merry Christmas, everybody. You need to be scared. Child, please. Shout out to the 92% fucking it up all the time. Them and the white liberal women need to be in the same fucking category. Thank you so much, Kofa. He said, did anyone see the video of the dude saying he grew up in Ohio and Somalians have been running this game for 20 years? Laugh my ass off. Hashtag run them pockets, America. I think I have a Ohio video. I might have it. I'm not really sure. If not, send it to me. I'll definitely play it. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Trent. He said, poor baby Joey. Poor baby Joey. Exactly. And don't it seem like those two guys are like, they're together and they're trying to get their kid into the daycare? That's what I was thinking after a while. Yeah, these are more babies we got to be looking for. We got too many babies that we got to be finding, y'all. I don't even know. It's too much. It's too much. Shout out to Wayne Lundy. Hey, boo. How are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. Please make sure you hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. Wayne said, Lucretia. Is that her name? Lucretia, Tawana, and LaShanika was crying about losing their benefits, housing, and rent increase. A huge part of that loss was due to Ilyan and her illegals stealing their benefits. You can't tell them nothing. You can't tell. They can't, with all this smart brain, with all this education, they don't even realize the fact that if someone wasn't fucking it up and taking all this money, that they shit would be smooth, right? That there would be not a break and maybe possibly, I don't know. All this waiting 25 years for your Section 8 and everything. If people were auditing, doing their compliance reviews, that's where first of all, the first issue is the people who are in charge. That goes to Tim Tom. I don't care, period, point blank. If Ilyan is in charge of this particular district, she is number 2, period, point fucking blank. This is your area. These is your people. You know what the fuck is going on. And if you don't, that's a you problem. That's your fucking job. Thereafter, it's the government people who are the paper pushers, whoever they are, they all need to go too. Because remember when they said for Big Tiff down in Dalton Thornton Township, they said she had not turned in some accounting that you got to do on a yearly basis. It wasn't sent to the heads in Chicago. I'm thinking off the top of my head. I'm not exactly sure, but it had something to do with money and an audit that they had to submit. And it was like 2 years that it wasn't submitted, but they said that they had been requesting it and asking it, and they stopped giving up money because of it. So you telling me that there was someone paper pushing for all these years, didn't notice it, didn't do nothing about it, didn't call out about it, didn't put no paperwork in place about it, nothing, they're to be held accountable as well. It don't just stop at one fucking person. It's always somebody else. It's always a whole line of people. And them people who are in those government offices in Minnesota, they are complicit as well. Child, I wouldn't be surprised if you went down there and you found that there was Somalians as well. Let me tell you something about Somalians. I'm going to give y'all some credit, okay? I'm going to give y'all some credit. Because colors can't keep it together. They can't work together. But the Somalians, they down for one another, and they going to work together. That's how you freaking do it. Just giving them props for working together. That's it. Because, child, if they wasn't working together, nobody was working together. Wayne, thank you for another 5. Lucretia, Tawana, LaShanika are still out here looking for men when they should be looking towards Minnesota. Kendra should take her show on the road and do it from Minnesota. Get some Somalis up on there and see if they'll get up on the show. I'm just playing. Shout out to Trent. Thank you, boo. He said she effing slow. We can get on the toonie hats in the Somalia. What the F? We picking and choosing who gets smoked for bullshit and crime and bad behavior? Yes, you already know. You already know this how they do. especially if it's something that Trump also doesn't like. Of course, that's the main reason to turn your back on it and have the opposing opinion. It's TDS, I'm sure. It's definitely TDS. Even though she didn't mention it, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Child, half damn crazy. Anyway, come on, biatch.
First, I'm actually so shocked that Trump is attacking us. I think Trump should be thanking us in multiple ways, and I'm going to explain. First things first, I think we are a good example of what the American dream can look like. Like Somali Americans, and it's making me sad and it's funny. Like I know Somali people are very funny. We're like the class clown who also happens to be valedictorian. Somalis in Minnesota are so successful. I take multiple trips a year to Minnesota and I leave so inspired. You have Somali only, like Somali-owned law firms, Somali-owned pharmacies, Somali-owned everything you can think of. And it's so inspiring to see that what my community could do in just 30 years. Literally, we came to this country not speaking English, not knowing anything. We're Black, Muslim, we're immigrant, and we're able to be that successful. It should be really applauded. Like, I need Trump to stand up and applaud for us because it's
hold on. Did you hear that? She said she black. They said they black now.
We came to this country not speaking English, not knowing anything. We're Black, Muslim, we're immigrant, and we're able to.
Now all of a sudden they black. No, take that back. You're not black. I don't care. They had all these tickety damn talks. They said they was not black. We not black. We Somali. We Somali. We Somali. So be Somali now, child. Don't. Negroes, coloreds, FBAs, African Americans, blacks, ebonies, chocolates, whatever you want to be called today. You need to be mindful of this. They've trying to draw us the fuck in here. We ain't got shit to do with it. So with that last sister sitting up there saying that shit, she's bringing y'all, because I'm out of it. Fuck y'all. She's bringing y'all into the shit. Do you not see this? This is the same shit. This is another banana tailpipe. Just 2 to 3 weeks ago, it was, we not black. We probably longer than that, but we looked at it about 2 to 3 weeks ago. We not black. We not black. We Somali. We not black. We not black. We Somali. We not black. We not black. We Somali. We Somalians. We are not black. We are not black. Child, go find the live stream. It's still up. Go find the live stream. It's still up. But don't be having your Trump derangement syndrome overtake a little bit of the common sense that you might have. They're going to try to drag black people into it. Now they're trying to say that they black, and then that will come back and reflect. Make sure you want them to continue to say that it's Somalians and not black people. If y'all fuck this up, fuck y'all forever. You heard? If y'all fuck this up, fuck y'all forever. I mean that. This is clear. This is clear. They are Somali. We Muslim, we Somali, we come here, we did this, we don't speak the language, we're this, we're that, we're this, we're that. What have they done to help out anybody blacks? What have they done to do anything to forge anything to help black people, blacks? Any black people down there in any part of this Minnesota, wherever the hell, whatever city they in, any black people down there in that Somalian community where they sat up there and said, oh, you know what, we're going to help you blacks, we're going to put you on blacks, any of that? I'm telling you, this is proactive. This is proactive speak right now. I know y'all don't know it. I know y'all don't know it. So I'm going to give you another freebie today. In advance, before all this really blows up even more, stay the fuck out of it. It is, when y'all say in them comments, this is not our issue. This is not our issue. Okay? So if y'all allow this to trickle into black people's spaces, y'all are fucking fools yet again. And that's why black people will continue, and I am black, but will continue to be at the bottom of fucking list and top of fucking list that we don't need it to be at. Because y'all always think you got to be a part of something. That's why that last bitch over there saying that dumb shit. Don't let your Trump derangement syndrome put the whole community in a badass situation for some shit that we ain't got shit to do. Not one damn bit. Come on, biatch.
Be that successful, it should be really applauded. Like, I need Trump to stand up and applaud for us because it's shocking. Literally, my friend just moved to Minnesota and she was telling me how when she gave birth, it was an all Somali staff. Her midwife was Somali, her doctors were Somali, her nurses were Somali. Like, that is so beautiful to see, and it should be celebrated. Okay. Second of all, Trump, you should be thanking my people for giving a random Midwestern state that much clout and money. Like, I don't think, other than Chicago, I think Minnesota is really popping when it comes to tourism because of Somali Americans like me, okay? So you should be thanking us because Minnesota would have been nothing if Somalis didn't move there. Like, if we're being honest, like, we have made that state pop and we have made it beautiful for the rest of the world. So you should thank us. And if you want, you can donate Minnesota to the great country of Somalia. Like, I think it's a nice trade-off. And last but not least, I'm so happy that people are discovering how funny, witty Somali people are. We're very confident. And
you're hearing this shit, right? You hear all this brag, right? You hear all this Gen Zer, and y'all know how I feel about Gen Z. But this Gen Z Somalian is out here trying to tell Americans how they should live and how they should be happy and what they've done. They've done so many wonderful things. This is about allegedly stealing money, but they have done so many wonderful things. Delusion at its best. Black people, let these people deal with their shit that they have made.
Although Trump said what he had to say, like, I want him to know, Yani, like, it didn't even, like, bother. Like, it didn't do anything to our confidence. We've heard everything you've said before. People always make fun of Somalia, but I still think I'm better than everyone. Like, God has made me Somali Muhammad. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay. On top of that, I'm Somali American, broski. Like, I'm winning on both sides. But yeah, it's just nice to see that everyone's realizing Somali people are very funny, very confident. And that's never going to change. It has not changed since colonial days, baby boy. And it's not going to change because somebody right now decided to make fun of us. We're actually winning the war, so. But yeah, that's all I have to say. First things first,
sounds about like something what a biatch would say. What did her title say? Somali women on Minnesota fraud. Somali women on Minnesota fraud. Somalis should be applauded and celebrated for bringing clout and money to this random Midwestern state. Anybody from Minnesota? You hear this young Gen Zer telling you that you ain't shit? After the explosion of the massive daycare fraud in Minnesota, a Somali is firing back, saying Somalis should be thanked for making the state successful. Clearly, they need a dictionary to understand what fraud means. You're hearing this, right? Another delusional woman. See, it don't matter what their race is. Most women are delusional. She says Trump is wrong to attack them and claims the Somali community brought money, clout, and business to a place no one cared about before. She even joked that Minnesota should be donated to Somalia, saying they've done more for the state than anyone else. So if anybody here right now can hear all that, listen to her and say that she's right, you can scroll the fuck on too. Because, child, all that is someone sitting up here trying to get clout as usual, clicks, likes, and views, and then trying to say that they're better than anyone else, which is fine, have your confidence or whatever, but leave out the part where it's fraud. Money laundering, allegedly money laundering, stealing. Oh, none of that. None of that matters. We doing a good job. Girl, you doing a good job. That's what they saying. Like I said, leave them be, child. Black people stay out of it, stay out of it, stay out of it. Kofa, thank you, boo. He said, I'm Black and Muslim and I'm from here. I haven't stolen anything. I don't think these your people, child. I don't think these your people. Thank you so much. Shout out to Romello in the building. Appreciate you. He said it's time to reevaluate crime data. Anyone can be us. We already know that the crime is down shit was bullshit. And then that lady that retired in Baltimore, I think, where was she at? Chicago? Wherever she was at, I forget. DC, actually, DC, talking about F y'all. But them crime statistics going to be looked at. Like, we're just like, what are we, stupid? Really, these people really think some of us are just so dumb, just so stupid. My fave, thank you, boo. He said, "Mind this tether ain't on ish, ain't talking about ish." Listen, they over here thinking that they winning. That's what they doing. And if they take it all down, then they take it all down. But we're here for watching for it for justice purposes and to make sure we'll see what them videos look like once they find out that the money has stopped because Trump said you ain't getting no more.
Are you still trying to figure out what's going on in Minnesota? I have some really good information.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I just quit my job and I need a new one.
Yo, you didn't hear about that new daycare method? I just want to tell y'all this too. This is just my recommendation. I am not a legal advocate. I am not an attorney.
This lady's mad at me because she's affiliated with this gun.
So CNN is finally talking about the fraud that's happening in Minnesota. As expected, here's what they said.
A viral YouTube video by a creator who has shared anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim videos in the past put a major national spotlight.
They can't help themselves with the anti-immigrant pointing the finger at us, calling us racists. These people are stealing from us, committing hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of fraud. They don't steal from us because we're racist. They call us racist so they can steal from us. That's a fact. So CNN is...
So like now that people are investigating the Somali childcare
Child, you look like
How do you know that you're right? How do you know?
I gotta move on because child, she look like she about to be falling asleep and I ain't got time. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to the Fox thing that Reaper just sent me. Hold on one second. This is updated as of today, child. This is 2 hours ago. It says Waltz fires back. Oh no. After Trump team freezes Minnesota child care funding. Child, look at them cheesing. They are over here cheesing over here on Fox right now. Thank you, boo. He says she is the true definition of a tether. Shout out to the tethers. We only like the ones that we like, not all. It is what it is. Let's see what Fox got to say, y'all. And I am going to speed it up.
Administration freezing child care payments to Minnesota as federal authorities dig deeper to root out fraud in the state.
But Democratic Governor Tim Walz is hitting back, saying the president is politicizing the issue.
Yeah, David Smuts joins us live from Washington, D.C. He's got the latest, David.
Hi, good morning, Joey, Tommy, and Griff. A top Health and Human Services official here in D.C. says, quote, "We have turned off the money spigot and we are finding the fraud," end quote. Here's Deputy HHS Secretary Jim O'Neill.
I've activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF childcare payments across America. We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Now, the allegations continue to pile on in the Trump administration, hitting the state of Minnesota in several ways. First, from a law enforcement perspective, you see Homeland Security investigators there on the ground in Minnesota yesterday and the day before, and they will continue probing.
They're knocking doors, they're going to local businesses, they're going to these sites where we believe that there is rampant fraud, whether it be daycare centers, healthcare centers, or other organizations that take taxpayer dollars.
And perhaps, guys, the catalyst for the investigation is this place exposed by a social media watchdog named Nick Shirley, who investigated. He says this place received state funding, but was not operating as an active daycare center. It was empty, and it actually had the word learning spelled wrong. The owner had to actually correct it, as you see right there, and put up the correct spelling. Governor Tim Walz responding to the overall controversy about the funding, saying this is Trump's long game. We've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along. He's politicizing the issue to defend programs.
This is Trump's long game, y'all. This is Trump's long game. So he became president and said, you know what? I'm coming after Timmy. Was unelected. I'm gonna call it unelected for 4 years, and he was sitting at home like one of them dastardly people in the old cartoons talking about, I'm gonna get Tim, I'm gonna get Tim, I'm gonna get Tim. And then turned around now after 4 years of Joe Biden saying, I finally got Tim. So the people that actually potentially possibly did the fraud, that's just made up, y'all. That's just made up. That's not real. Anything that anybody has seen is not real. Any of the millions of dollars that's being spent is not real, child. It's all a figment of your imagination. This is Trump's plan. Let me tell you something. Trump should be the richest man in the world since he's responsible for so much and knows so much and is able to do so much for people where he wasn't thinking about none of y'all, but y'all gonna find a way to implement his name.
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Again!
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Go, you're being a racist! Racist!
Let me acknowledge Linda Morado. She said, I'm from Minneapolis. I've never, ever seen a Somali woman work. Well, I be damned. A few at Walmart, and no Somalians didn't do anything for this state. We never wanted these people here. They were just dumped. Oh, did they come because it's a sanctuary state, y'all? Is that how they got there? Let me know. Because, y'all, they found a way to get up there now, didn't they? Like, listen, I got to be honest. Minnesota is a state that outside of Brendan Brandon from 90210, I have no need to ever go to Minnesota. Think about Minnesota, know how to spell Minnesota, none of it. Sorry, y'all. It's just not a state that I give a damn about. No offense. But we're going to look into this now, okay? I'm just saying. I think I read that one. Thank you, Boo. Shout out to Wayne Lundy with another 20. I appreciate you, Boo. He said, we've been sponsoring these ungrateful since I was a kid. Oh, no. Remember those commercials with those starving African? Oh, my God. Yes, especially in the late night. Lord, help your people. Africa has pushed out 40 million kids in 2024 alone. How the heck are they going to support those kids? They're going to send them over here and go to Minnesota. They're gonna send them to Minnesota or something, child. I don't know. But yes, those commercials used to be rampant back in the 80s and 90s, y'all. You can sponsor a kid too. I don't know if they really do that anymore. I don't watch TV. I'm sure most people don't watch TV anymore because everything is streamed. But excuse me, back to Tim Tom, because they can always find a way to bring Donald Trump into this. This is your state, you jackass. This is your state. How do people just, and not just Tim Tom because it's him, but how do people just gloss over the people that are right there, that are responsible right there, that were elected right there? That's all these states. Just forget about any of the senators, the aldermen, the councilmen, the governor, the representatives. All them people don't matter. Just go straight to Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Obama or whoever. So those people at those levels just don't matter, right? Just fuck them. They just there just for decoration, ornamental only, right? Child, please. And of course, this is what Tim Tom gonna say, talking about this is Donald Trump's long game. Of all things that I would believe that Donald Trump is thinking about in his life at this point, in even the last 8 years, I'm pretty sure Tim Tom wasn't on his mind.
Actually corrected, as you see right there, and put up the correct spelling. Governor Tim Walz responding to the overall controversy about the funding, saying this is Trump's long game. We've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along. He's politicizing the issue to defend programs that help Minnesotans. Now, the Department of Health and Human Services wants Governor Walz to provide a, quote, comprehensive audit of the centers. The request includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections. Tommy Griff, Joey.
All right, David Swan, live for us in Washington. It's very rich that Governor Walz, who, by the way, is running for re-election for a third term as governor in a state that now has been uncovered.
Tim Tom is running for re-election, child. Tim Tom is running for re-election, yeah. He ain't gonna resign then. Not that I really thought that he was. And these MFers just might re-elect his ass. Child, you can't make this shit up. Shout out to America.
What is called the tip of the iceberg of a $9 billion widespread, large-scale fraud.
And excuse me, Griff, politicizing the issue. Yeah, it's a political issue. I think it's an issue of importance here. I think the Trump administration probably needs to not just gloss over this one. Americans are frustrated. You see it all over X with Nick Shirley's video, 100 million views. People are fired up. They want to see accountability. They want to see transparency. They also want to see people arrested. They want to see people deported. They want to see people denaturalized. They don't want more talk, more hearings, and more nothingness. They want to see something actually done this time. I hope 2026 is the year of accountability. I'm manifesting that.
What really blows us out of the water for me is that Tim Walz, his response is basically, it's exactly what it was for the last 10 years while people have looked into this, which is basically, well, you're racist. You're racist if you care. You're racist if you go looking into businesses owned by Somalis. And it's like, no, you call me.
And this is the exact reason why J.D. Vance said it, and I'm paraphrasing, that it's okay to say that you're white. Because that's supposed to scare people whenever you say it's an obic, all of us, but definitely for white people, or ism, and you're supposed to run and fall back and cower in the corner because someone might think, fuck y'all, I'm gonna take it on. I don't like anybody. I'm all of the above. I am all of the above. I don't like nobody. Okay, y'all, I do. But other than that, I don't like nobody. Okay, so cover me off on all of it. Give me all the isms and all the obics. I'm all good, okay? Because everybody is crazy. I'm sticking to it. This is the last day of the year, and this is where we at, y'all. This is the last day of 2025, and this is what's going on with all this alleged fraud, with the fact that some young YouTuber had to go down to a whole ass different state and city in order to show and prove, and with documentation, with that other dude's help, that money is being spent here and is not being spent properly. And they're going to show you that on tape, and y'all going to sit up here, not y'all, you know what I'm saying, and you're going to question what the hell it is that you see. And that's why I said, talk to a person who has a fucking kid that ever had a kid in daycare. None of this makes any sense.
Whatever you want. So what? It's not about racism. It's about billions of dollars in a scheme that seems to be cultivated among an entire community of people. And if it means that you have to point a magnifying glass at the Somali community in Minnesota because it's that rampant or it's that protected, that's not racism. That's doing your job. I mean, if you're the governor of Minnesota, you've got two options here, Tim Walz. You either are so bad at your job you didn't know what was happening, or you're so corrupt in your job that you tried to cover it up, or you're complicit in it. pick your poison. Neither one really is a good resume builder for whatever's next for that guy. Maybe he needs to retire, go learn how to load a shotgun.
Well, he's not retiring. He's running again, and it's unclear, Joey, what his campaign slogan is. It must be something along the lines of, no, I'll fix it now. Trust me, I'm the right guy to do it. He's taken on a couple of initiatives. He says he's going to appoint a program integrity director.
Don't you love it?
It's like, why wasn't there one there to begin with? And he's going to spend taxpayer money further to hire an outside firm to do an audit, which I'm sure that Minnesota taxpayers who are already been stolen from are not happy about having to now pay more money to fix the problem that occurred on his watch. But I think you have a real important point, Joey, and that is this focus on the Somalian community, because 85 of 98 people charged are of Somali descent. Over 60 have been convicted. And so it is not a politicizing issue. It is not a racist issue to focus on where the root of any fraud problem is.
Yeah, if something like this exists within a community, if it's been fostered there and cultivated there and protected there, then you got to start flipping all the stones to see who all's involved. That's what it is.
And Tommy, you mentioned the push for denaturalization of possible citizens, talking about the Somali community. We'll ask Caroline Levitt, White House Press Secretary, about just that and a whole lot more coming up a little bit later. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
And shit, that ended quicker than I thought. Shout out to Reaper for sending that to me. I see y'all sitting up here talking about that he's somebody said, well, daycare opens at 2:00. No daycare opens at 2:00 unless it's staying open until 2 the next day. Let me see where I'm gonna go next, because let's hold on. Let's do this one. There was an old one. Here it is. Amid federal probe. Hold on. Amid federal probe, is fraud happening in publicly funded daycare centers in Columbia, which I think some of y'all is talking about with regard to Ohio. So let's hear what they got to say.
Federal government is posting on social media today that agents are in Minnesota investigating fraud claims within Somali-owned daycare centers. Many viewers say it's time that agents look into those same types of daycare facilities in Columbus. ABC 6 on your side investigator Lisa Rontel is following the money to see just who is getting what. Lisa?
We are collecting the names of daycare facilities which receive public funds in the Columbus area. We drove by several facilities in Northeast Columbus today and saw a series of centers in the same strip mall. One center even had a U-Haul key drop off at the front door. Now, at this point, we are not suggesting these facilities are doing anything wrong, but as we wait for any potential records on public funds, overpayments, and fraud, here's what other agencies are revealing about their public funds. First, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. According to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, SNAP benefits for non-U.S. citizens dropped by 20% from 2024 to 2025. It went from 52,000 to 41,000. The one big beautiful bill that just passed this year limited who can receive SNAP benefits. Those off the list, asylees, refugees, non-U.S. citizens who are victims of human trafficking or domestic violence, and non-U.S. citizens with military connections. 1.8 million Ohioans received SNAP benefits this year. I also reached out to the Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority to ask how many non-U.S. citizens received rental assistance through a housing choice voucher. That number also dropped by 20% from 2023 to 2025. In that 2-year span, the non-U.S.
So let me go back. So y'all with your Trump derangement syndromes that wants free stuff, it sounds like your president helped y'all with some money. Hold on.
Fraud. Here's what other agencies are revealing about their public funds. First, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. According to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services,
SNAP
benefits for non-U.S. citizens dropped by 20% from 2024 to 2025.
So the shit went down when they said you have to be a citizen in order to receive the benefits. So y'all wasn't getting no damn food if you wasn't a citizen.
From 52,000 to 41,000. The one big beautiful bill that just passed this year limited who can receive SNAP benefit.
Remember, everybody hated it because, anything that Donald Trump does is bad. They sitting up there trying to get y'all some food because y'all know you like free stuff. Poors, are y'all listening? Because I know y'all one of the ones that's out here hating Donald Trump. And I don't like him myself. But y'all, you got to stop thinking about him personally, and you got to look at what he's doing as far as presidency is concerned and see where the fuck you can get in to fit in instead of worrying about dumb shit that happened not dumb shit, but shit that happened years ago that ain't got no difference about what's going on now because the man's the fucking president. So y'all can keep living back in the past, but you want to live in the past where he was an asshole. Trust me, he was an asshole, but you don't want to live in the past when he was hanging out with all the colors and all the colors was having him and all the colors was receiving him. Y'all want to ignore all that and go to all the other shit. Y'all had him get elected. You either had him get elected by way of the fact that you voted for him, first of all, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or independent or whatever. Second of all, if you didn't go and vote, you voted for him. And then if you allowed that shit to happen with Joe Biden and Cam and the Democrats and all that bullshit, you allowed this to happen. It's y'all's fault, okay? Just let me go ahead and make sure we clear this up. It's y'all's fault if you was a part of any of that bullshit, all right? So blame George Clooney, blame Joe Biden, Jill, Cam, Obama, whoever the fuck you want to put in there. Those are the ones that fucked that shit up, okay? Anyway, so Big Beautiful Bill came through, which is from Donald Trump. For all you people that like free shit, pores, listen up. It dropped the people who weren't supposed to have it. So all them people that was coming over here, remember also you love Brandon so much. Y'all elected Brandon. He's up for Brandon Johnson in Chicago. He's going for re-election as well. He's over there saying he loves black people. He loves black people. Who he raised them taxes on? Disproportionately? Oh yeah, black people. But y'all okay with that. You don't got no problem with that. Anyway, come on, child. Finish this up, child.
Those off the list, asylees, refugees, non-U.S. citizens who are victims of human trafficking or domestic violence.
Damn, the human traffickers can't even get no food stamps.
And non-U.S. citizens with military connections. 1.8 million Ohioans received SNAP benefits this year. I also reached out to the Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority.
So this lady said, I'm going to do some extra work and get y'all some information on your Section 8, because that's what housing vouchers is basically, is Section 8, which means it's the government sitting up here paying for your shit. So they're paying for your food, they're paying for your housing, and then y'all going to go get into these marches where you're talking about you don't want no kings, but then you want this shit from the daggone king.
To ask how many non-U.S. citizens received rental assistance through a housing choice voucher. That number also dropped by 20% from 2023 to 2025. In that 2-year span, the non-U.S. citizen recipients went from 527 to 426. CMA
Pores. That's help for y'all. Okay, that's help that y'all wasn't receiving that y'all can now get. I'm just saying. Control your TDS. Stop worrying about that man as a person and worry about what the fuck he's doing law-wise that you can benefit from, instead of listening to motherfuckers like Rolly Roll and Clown and them 3 girls over there and whoever the fuck else, CNN, MSNBC, and The View, and look at which policies you can take advantage of. Okay, that's what you really should be looking at. But child, that's just my 2 cents.
Chase states they only issue vouchers to persons who are eligible through requirements set by HUD. And while fewer non-U.S. citizens received those benefits this year, more vouchers were passed out. 13,600 vouchers were issued this year. 13,400 were issued last year and the year before. Now, these are issues.
Look at that. That's a couple of more this 2025. Look at the Lord.
As many of you have told us you have great concerns about. We will continue to dig and
Oh yeah, y'all have concerns about housing, right? Housing is a human right. Ain't nobody got no place to live. Nobody can afford to live. Nobody can afford to eat. Nobody can afford. But y'all still spending. Pores. All right. Good luck to y'all. Go move to Minnesota. It sounds like it's the best thing for you. Or go move to looks like what, Ohio, wherever in Ohio, child. Let's go over to BCP, child, because he's got this CNN reporter loses her mind confronting citizen journalists for exposing Somali daycare fraud. Lord help your people.
Facilities, some of them had already been closed for some time. Minnesota officials say that
Abby, what girl?
Each of the facilities that he visited had been visited at least once in the last 6 months. And so far, they found no evidence of fraud. So shouldn't he have to provide actual evidence of fraud before just walking up to a building and saying fraud is happening here?
Who is he? Like, who gave this guy license to go around and say, I couldn't get in the daycare center?
No. I'm trying to have a good New Year's Eve, ending my vacation, and here we are with one of them 3 girls. No! Who has done this to me? I can't stand the Black Cindy Brady's voice. Yeah, I'm talking about you, biatch. I can't stand her voice. A woman who is non-married, has no kids, is now going to talk about childcare. Okay, I can't wait to hear this. Let me acknowledge the quality guy. I appreciate you, boo. He said, that's MSG, messy. How dare you talk about the black queens like that? Black queens forever. Snow bunnies never. Shout out to you. So crazy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of y'all. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. Yes, this is Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross used to be on CNN or MSNBC, child, one of them. I'm assuming it's MSNBC since she's on CNN right here as a commentator, right? And her rhetoric was so disgusting that they had to fire that ass, okay? And then they followed behind with Joy Reid a few years later. But the point is that she has TDS and she's allegedly pro-black. But let me tell you what she don't have, kids. So what the fuck does she know about daycare? Again, I'm gonna keep calling on y'all that know about that have sent kids to daycare. Everybody always think they know everything. That's why you got people going to Kendra G to be married. Child, I don't know why. She ain't never been married. She ain't gonna be married. Ashley, I'm sorry. Ashley Foot, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. But we want to sit up here and listen to people who have no clue as to how none of this shit works. See, that's why somebody that can say, you know what, I have no idea, but I'll have to figure it out and go look into it. These motherfuckers, you'll never hear them say that. These motherfuckers, you would never hear them say that. They just gonna sit up here and lie and try to double and triple down just to not have to say that they don't know what the fuck they talking about.
This guy licensed to go around and say, I couldn't get into daycare centers. The doors were locked. Like, nobody should be able to walk into a daycare center because the doors are locked.
The doors are not locked in a daycare center, dumbass.
These random vigilante justice, something that people in this country know a lot about. These random vigilante.
That's code for white people. Vigilante justice, allegedly. That's what she's saying on the low.
Justice seekers who ordain themselves like some sort of law enforcement expert. Like, he's a random YouTuber.
Oh, the YouTuber is talking about a random YouTuber. Don't you love that, y'all? Sorry, y'all. You're going to have to listen to this rant. The YouTuber who got fired from a nationally syndicated program because she couldn't control her fucking mouth and her rhetoric is going to have the nerve to talk about a random YouTuber when that's exactly what she fucking does. Over there with a disgraced ass, alleged bisexual gay man that cheated on his daggone wife on video while doing DRUGS while trying to run for some fucking office down in damn Florida. Yeah, we ain't forget about none of that. And the other ABCD are over there and child, whatever the hell Ange does at this point, okay? So a YouTuber is going to talk down on another YouTuber. I love it. I love the hypocrisy. This is the woman that told ya that you, Kevin Samuels, Tariq Nasheed followers need to get behind black women code for fucking feminists because you don't know nothing, Nick Shirley. First of all, because you white. Second of all, because you're a male. I'm going to say male because he's Gen Z. And you can't go into random daycare centers. A woman who ain't never entered a daycare center because she ain't got kid one. Bitch, shut the fuck up. She don't know what the fuck she's talking about, but talking. Bitch.
And I just find it laughable that the party of the self-proclaimed pro-life people are celebrating cutting off funding to children. So
now we want to pull in ABs to try to guilt someone into saying you don't really care about the kids. How do you sit up here and say that someone that's pro-life don't care about kids because the funding is stopping from the fraud on where somebody is saying that kids are? So if you're so concerned with kids, shouldn't you be concerned with not being able to see the same kids that are supposed to be receiving these daggone benefits? Do you see the ass backwardness of Black Cindy Brady's mind? She will find a way to support a Democrat because poors, fake poors, middle class, she is D9 boule. So what her job is to make sure that you Blacks, you colors, you African Americans, you FBAs, whatever you want to be called today, shout out to everyone that is here, is to usher y'all's asses over there to vote for anybody who's blue or however they say that shit. That's what they're here for. Help me understand how what she just said makes any sense whatsoever. She's pulling shit out of her ass to try to make this make sense. And she's looking like a fucking fool to anyone with any bit of common damn sense. Please miss me with this bullshit, bitch. Please. Chris, thank you, honey. He said, remember when the illegals beat all the New York City FBA community to the Thanksgiving turkeys? Yes. And food last year? Absolutely. banana meat tailpipe, as you say. Absolutely. They was out there complaining and whining. Now they out here fighting for the motherfuckers to stay here. Child, this is the problem. Y'all can't stand on business because you're too worried about what somebody else is going to say. I could give a shit about what anyone else has to say. I'm going to make my own fucking opinion. I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say. And you can think that I'm whatever the fuck it is that you think. I don't give a fuck. Your opinion doesn't mean that you're right. And mine don't mean that I'm right, but it doesn't matter. I can think what I want and say what the fuck I want because I don't hold you accountable to shit except for bullshit where you're sitting up here lying. I promise you this woman don't know shit about daycares, but she gonna sit up here and try to pull Roe v. Wade out of her ass to try to incense people to feel some kind of way when that has nothing to do with this. She's the person of I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it's called non-pro-life, y'all. Don't come for me. She's the one that basically supports deleting babies, but she's going to try to talk about somebody that supports not deleting babies when we're talking about babies with regard to childcare centers. She don't give a fuck about kids. How? She ain't got none, and she supports ABs. ABs is Roe v. Wade. Thank you, boo. Pro-choice. Thank you. So she is pro-choice, trying to attack someone who's pro-life for fraud in daycares. How do you make this correlation? Because you're fucking insane. You are fucking insane, and people will listen to her.
White evangelical crowd who purports to uphold these Christians.
There you go. There you go. The white evangelical crowd. Pull out the white man, because you can always use that. And again, another example why JD said, this is why it's okay for you to say that you're white.
Christian values are celebrating targeting communities because of their ethnicity and
so there's the racism because of their ethnicity. So she is the 92% that's not going to listen to me that I just said at the beginning of this damn stream that this is not our business. Don't get involved with it. These MFers said that they were not black. They don't do black. I ain't got nothing to do with black. But now all of a sudden there's a little bit of blackness here. There's a little bit of blackness there. Now the blackness is seeping in because they in fucking trouble. And then let's just pull some blacks on up into here so that we don't look so bad, and we can probably moonwalk the fuck on up out of here, and then go ahead and make sure that blacks take the fall. I hope Tariq Nasheed is paying attention to this. I know he is, but I certainly hope that he's speaking about this. This is disgusting of her.
Off care to children. It's utterly ridiculous. And I have to say, only a deplorable human being cannot decisively say it is wrong to target this community. We all heard what Donald Trump said from the White House to pretend
TDS
that this is some sort of opinion versus this opinion. No, we hear this right now. And so we have to call these things out with outrage, with righteous indignation that this type of thing, one day it's the Somali.
You see her name down here, Tiffany Cross, podcast co-host on the Native Land podcast. She can't even do the shit by herself. She as a YouTuber, gonna talk negatively about another YouTuber because it doesn't align with her political beliefs. So she can do it. And Nick is white, so she can say all that too. So there's something wrong with you if you don't agree with Tiffany Cross.
The Somali community, the next day it's another community. What is hard about saying this is awful? What is hard about saying we should all care about children?
And it's not just
fuck them kids. You heard? I don't give a shit about nobody's kids but my own. I said that. I meant that, because y'all don't give a fuck about your own kids. And like I always say, I don't know why we required to give a fuck about yours when you don't give a shit about none of ours. That's always what it is. They always want you to come in later on and take their side and come up here with them. No, you take care of your kids. That's where the part of the problem with this free stuff is at. It's a bunch of motherfuckers with a bunch of kids. Give that shit to the veterans. Give that shit to the disabled. Give that shit to the elderly. Nah, y'all don't want to do that. Nah, y'all want to sit up here and give it to bitches who just had babies. Fuck that shit. They're also the ones that are complaining about doing a measly 20 hours a week in work and giving back. They don't ever give back. This woman on the screen is defending fraud. She's finding a way because of her Trump derangement syndrome. She's going to say that the Republicans, basically conservatives, are wrong to sit up here and do something about this shit, say something about this shit, and anybody else that doesn't want to protect the kids, bitch, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't even have any kids. Goodbye. I can't do it. Child, I know I missed the super chat, but let me let this mess go. Come on.
It's racist and xenophobic. It's actually dangerous because
liberal white woman, shut the fuck up too.
Is what Donald Trump is doing and targeting this community.
Y'all, why are they not talking about Tim and Ilion Bueller? Why are they not talking about Tim and Ilion? It's their state. It's their responsibility. Why are they not doing anything about that or saying anything about that? Just skip the local officials. They bear no responsibility to anything. They don't have anything. They're poor things too because of Donald Trump, because he holds all this power over so many people. Poor Tim. Poor Ilion. They just are they suffering in all of this. They bear no responsibility, your whole ass government officials. I don't even know who the mayor is. Y'all talking about the mayor. Who's the mayor? I don't know who the mayor is. Skip the mayor, skip the governor, skip the local officials, skip the aldermen, skip all of them and go straight to Donald Trump. Lord, help your people.
It's putting American citizens in danger because it is putting a target on their back. But there's something else that I think is really disturbing, to your point about who this YouTuber is, and that all of a sudden, because he made this video that has gone viral, now DHS and FBI are putting resources into this community.
Now, look, she is right about that, child. She is absolutely right about that. Those MFers should have been looking into this. They should have been down there. They should have been working through that shit. I agree completely. The fact that they didn't, that is a fucking concern for show. At the same time, all this alleged, we've been doing, not oversight. They didn't say the word oversight. There should be oversight done, of course. But that's the question that should have been asked. Where's your paperwork? What did you turn in? Who did a audit on any of these people, any of these things, any of these things? Every single social program is supposed to be audited, period. Where are the audits? Give me this year. Give me that year. So they fucking failed. They absolutely failed. But let me ask a question. Was Tim Tom the person that was the governor then? Because whoever the governor was before him, because I'm assuming he's only been one term, I'm not sure. So that means it's on them too. And anybody before him, it was on them too. So they just let that shit go? They all just let that shit go? All right, cool. Whatever, child.
All of a sudden,
well, they're not. I mean, because they actually had already. Well, that's the thing. I mean, those videos that we were showing, those are performative.
Pretending like they just found this out.
They're walking into a deli and asking questions and then saying, "Have a nice day." That's not how you investigate fraud.
Correct.
Actually, to the credit.
Is Abby a fraud investigator? Is this liberal white woman a fraud investigator? As someone who has done audits and compliance, I'm sure they don't know what the fuck they're talking about with regard to this as well. No one said that Nick Shirley was an investigator, but at the state level, they should have been doing it. That has nothing to do with Trump. That has to do with the people who are in charge right then and there. It's Ilion and it's fucking Tom or Tim Tom and it's whoever the fuck the mayor is. But skip all that, y'all. None of that matters. They all get a pass.
Of DOJ, they have been investigating fraud. They have been prosecuting people.
Boy. So we got to continue our coverage of the fallout that is currently happening within the mainstream liberal media over the Somali fraud scandal being exposed to the world. And the backlash is getting so great that now the mainstream liberal media, they've gone into full-blown overdrive to do what they always do when the narrative doesn't fit, to defend the Democrats and to defend fraud, right? This is what CNN is doing, okay? Because apparently they are investigating the investigative journalists, the citizen journalists that actually did their job. They're investigating him.
So now these reporters are allegedly doing investigations into the investigation because it was a YouTuber, as said by a YouTuber, talking about another YouTuber. And these people are going to do, okay. Again, they're not mention of Tim Tom, they're not mention of Ilion. Focus on Donald Trump. Can't wait to see when JD Vance gets inaugurated as president.
Rather than investigating the fraud, right? This is CNN confronting and pressing Nick Shirley on his investigation into the fraud going on in Minnesota, right? They're basically pressing him on why is it that he's doing what they should have been doing. This right here is crazy. This is getting insane.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
I'm sure.
We're from CNN. Can we talk to you?
This is MAGA YouTuber Nick Shirley. Back at a daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video.
People are going to say this is a left or right issue, but no, fraud is fraud. And so I'm not out here trying to put a twist on things.
Shirley's viral video.
Did they even say the word fraud when they were just talking? Black Cindy Brady and that liberal white woman and Abby. I don't even think they mentioned the word fraud. They just completely forget that word. Do they need to look it up on dictionary.com as well? Forget the fraud part of it. Forget that you can't find 90 some kids, 60 some kids, 100 and some kids, all the millions of dollars. Forget all that, child. Just worry about Donald Trump is bad.
Released over the weekend, in which he says he's uncovering tens of millions of dollars in fraud at Minneapolis daycares run by the Somali community, was retweeted by Elon Musk and Vice President J.D. Vance. In the video, Shirley tries to open locked doors and talk to people at various daycares he claims are frauds.
Did you come during their normal operating hours when you came to visit?
I came at 11 a.m., I believe, and I also came the following day later in the day. The point of it is not whether or not I came at the right time of their operation hours. The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers. I wasn't trying to go inside, and there should be a way for somebody to actually be able to call that number and somebody be able to answer. These aren't real businesses.
But surely you don't think a daycare should just be unlocked. You shouldn't be able to just walk into a daycare.
I promise you that bitch got kids. She just out here being a ass because she got to sensationalize this shit and try to make him look bad instead of them going ahead and doing their jobs, I believe, as investigative journalists, I'm assuming is what they might be, or they just sit at that table and just talk shit and don't know what the fuck they talking about. If you have kids and you went to your daycare and you couldn't open the door, what the fuck would y'all do? Please miss me with this. It makes sense to have a daycare door closed. No one said that once you open the door, you get access to the kids, you dumb motherfuckers. You just get into the door. That's it. It's always blocked off. You always have a screen to go look at someone. Someone is sitting there waiting to give you something. They can't even give you a fucking application. They hours of 2 o'clock. So you telling me that the times that he went to, what time do fucking daycares open? 6? Usually till 6. All this, we open at 2 to 10. Y'all shut the fuck up. Anybody that believes that shit, you're a part of the fucking problem. And this lady here knows. I promise you this white woman has kids, but she gonna come up here and try to discredit this child. Let me not say that. This young man, just because she's on fucking CNN.
The reception.
No, every daycare is locked.
No, that's a fucking lie. That is a lie. Every daycare has to be open. Fuck that bitch. She's lying. Who has gone to their child's day? Y'all telling me any mothers here? Because I see it's 500 people between all these channels right now. And if you have a child, especially if you had a baby, and you went to your damn kid's daycare and you went to sign them the fuck out and the door was locked, tell me that shit happens. I will wait. I will wait. Yes, you get it's Kofa. You get to sign in. Exactly. She's fucking lying. She's lying. You fucking get in to the vestibule or whatever, and then you talk to someone. You don't just get to flip through the damn center is what they're trying to allude to. They're full of fucking shit.
Their doors are locked.
And so, okay, you bring up a fair point. Then, but why can't they actually?
He wouldn't know. He ain't got no kids. He's a kid himself.
Give me information how to enroll a child.
Federal law enforcement has been investigating fraud in Minnesota for several years. Both Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel said on social media they've indicted dozens of defendants. DHS has posted multiple videos of agents they say are conducting a massive fraud investigation.
Do you think that federal law enforcement hasn't done enough? I mean, they would say, look, these fraud cases have been going on, but they've already done like 80 indictments. The cases have been going on, for years.
And why did I show up one day in Minnesota and go to all these daycares, no children? They're receiving millions of dollars. We uncovered nearly $110 million in fraud in one day.
How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming.
Yeah. So you know what's crazy about this, and this is why you can't hate the media enough, to be honest with you, is because they're investigating the investigative journalist, right? That who's doing their job, right? He's doing what they should be doing. Exactly. They're investigating him harder than they're investigating the actual fraud. Watch this. Watch this next clip. It's going to. It's going to prove my exact point.
So we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
CNN is looking into Shirley's claims.
Hi, my name's Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN.
We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
Have you seen the videos, purporting that some of these daycares don't have kids?
So when wrong Tiff, when the Black Cindy Brady sits up here talking about what happens at a daycare, a person with no children, she's sitting up at that table. So I guess this liberal white woman just knocked on the door and found out the same damn things have happened. So I guess they'll find a different way to discredit Nick.
Inside
Minnesota Republican.
Yeah, so this is CNN's idea of journalism.
Right.
Hey, we're going to call up these daycares. Okay. Only one of them answered, by the way, right? Only one of them answered. The one that answers, they say, hey, well, listen, are you a legitimate business? Yes or no? We got this kid, this far right winger.
Yeah, who's gonna sit up there and say, yeah, no, I'm not a legitimate business? And for y'all that I see in these comments that are supporting this, y'all really need to get some help with your Trump derangement syndrome too. This has nothing to do with anything except for Tim Tom, Ilyan, and the fucking fraud. Like, no one seems to be saying the word fraudulent. If you are at a daycare, you should hear children. You should see children. You should have a playground where children play because they need to be outside at some amount of time per day. And if y'all's daycares don't work like that, y'all should consider getting your kids out because they crazy.
He has a story that's going super viral, and we're trying to play defense. Can you tell us that this is legitimate so that we can tell our stupid audience that the business owner said it's legitimate, right? Tell us that you're legit, please. Right? Yeah, we're legit. Okay. Or whatever they say in Somali, right? I'm not sure, they're speaking English at this point, but yeah, that's what they do. And CNN, because they know their audience is stupid, they tell their viewership, hey, see, today we did the investigation and they said the business is legit. Nothing to see here, right? Nothing to see here. The MAGA YouTuber is spreading misinformation. Notice how again they call Nick Shirley a MAGA YouTuber. So they start the segment off with a smear, right? In order to discredit the dude doing their jobs, right? Doing what they're supposed to be doing. See, again, this is the difference between journalism and propaganda. What Nick Shirley is doing is actual journalism.
We've gotten stories. We've tried to push this forward every way that we can.
At the daycare where Shirley showed back up, a stream of children walk inside.
You're saying that this is a fraudulent daycare. There's kids being dropped off right now.
Yes, the Commissioner of Children literally said a week ago this place was closed.
Did you know
They're
that?
showing face right now.
A viral video, disputed claims, and their full fallout remains to be seen.
Whitney, you mentioned in your story that there were dozens of convictions going back to 2022. Can you explain what those convictions established?
Well, this was really the beginning of this massive fraud case that has now led to more than 50 convictions, 56 people at least convicted as of September of this year, Jim. At least 78 people have been indicted in that case. It was this sprawling investigation that DOJ has really touted as their effort to try to root out what is a fraud problem here in Minnesota, Jim.
Oh, well, thank you for at least saying the word fraud, ma'am.
And then, of course, that many of them did begin a number of years ago. Whitney Wild, good to have you there. Thanks very much.
Yeah. So this same daycare that this woman is trying to defend, right? This is how you know that a lot of this stuff is fraudulent, right? The state said that, oh no, this daycare is closed, right? And then the next day, right, literally next day, all of a sudden, all of these Somalis, okay, are busing in children to the daycare, right? After they said that the daycare was closed. Now the state says daycare is closed. The daycare looked closed. It didn't like anybody was there. When Nick Shirley first showed up, this video goes viral. All of a sudden now the daycare is open, right? And they got all these customers, all of these individuals bringing all their kids here to this daycare. Now, what is happening? What's going on?
The question still remains also, where's Ilyan and where's Tim Tom? Anybody try and go talk to them? They got anything to say? Nothing? Okay. Skip them. Go straight to Trump.
The hours of operation at the Quality Learning Center.
Talk to a mother
dropping off her kids.
I take my kids here, 2 o'clock to 10. Yeah, there's a lot of kids inside.
Child, come on now. Are y'all that stupid? Not y'all. Well, most of y'all. She said she dropped her kids off from 2 to 10.
Yeah, so if you understand how the scam works, you shouldn't be surprised that now all of a sudden you have these Somalis showing up to this daycare because, again, that's how the scam works.
How about this? Is Somalis the only one that go to this daycare? So there's no white people, no black people, no Asian people that need daycare down there? Nobody? Okay, so this is specifically for them? All right, cool. Allegedly.
They're called in when they're needed, right? When they're needed to show that, hey, we're a legit operation. They all show up, and a lot of them, right, are probably getting kickbacks. They're probably getting paid in order to show up and to make sure that they can say that this daycare operation is legit. But otherwise, right, if this story was not a thing, the daycare would be empty, right? They wouldn't be taking care of any kids. And that's how it works, right? We went over this before. Again, this stuff is so deep. It is so deep. And this is part of the reason why I say that it's not enough to just pause the payments and say that, oh, well, they just need to submit evidence in order to get the money, right? Evidence that they're a legitimate operation. No.
But even if they do submit the paperwork, they just don't have enough time to support all these years and get stuff together. There's no way for every kid, for every parent, for every address, for every whatever you got to denote for each child that allegedly received the funds. There ain't no way they can do it. That's probably too many kids. If it ain't even enough kids, especially if it's only Somalis, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say those other races that I said something about, they ain't there. So if it's only Somalis going here, do y'all even have enough kids to cover off on all the kids that y'all got money for? Where they at?
It's easy to fake evidence. It is easy for them to just submit photos, videos, whatever that may appear to be legit. They can already do that because the community is in on it, right? Everybody is in on it.
That is true.
They have to, the government.
I just think that would be a lot of work. But then again, with minimal amount that they probably would be looking for, it's not like they're going to be like, oh, we want so much of this and so much of that. They'll probably just be like, oh, you gave us a name? That's enough. It's written on a piece of paper. Okay, that's enough. Child, if these people don't go to hell. Shout out to Ms. AB. I appreciate you, boo. She said my toes and fingernails are white. Happy New Year's, besties. 2026. We are on the brink. Shout out to y'all. Happy New Year's to everyone. Please hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Kevin, the software tester. I appreciate you, boo. He said, Locke, what happens if there is a fire? I think it was Fit Granny or somebody just said that the doors are locked and you can be buzzed in. That is a thing as well, but that is because of all the foolishness that goes on now. My kids was in daycare in the 90s. So as far as what was going on is that you come in, there's a vestibule, and then you talk to someone. You don't just wander around a daycare. You don't just come in the door and daycare is right there. That don't make sense. These kids got to sleep on a cot. They got to sleep sometimes on the floor on a mat. So they're not at the front door in case it's freaking cold. Okay. They're in their separate rooms, at least on normal daycare. They're in separate rooms. They have teachers, all those things. They even get food that usually is subsidized as well. So that stuff needs to be accounted for, especially if they have breakfast, lunch, snacks, not dinner, but breakfast, snacks, and lunch. They usually get that as well. All that stuff needs to be accounted for. You need to account for all the kids to account for all of the food that you need. There ain't no way they're getting all that together. There's no way they're getting all that together, in my opinion. Thank you, hun. Shout out to Nick Taylor. I appreciate you, boo. He said, Messi, always remember liberals are liberals first. Clearly. That Black Cindy Brady trying to act like she know and like she fucking cares. Girl, a fucking YouTuber talking down on another YouTuber. A YouTuber that is falling from fucking grace after being on a nationally syndicated show gonna have the audacity and the nerve. Bitch, if you don't go to hell, shout out to Lawrence. Thank you so much again. Stream sponsor, so generous of you. I appreciate you, hun. He said they pulling all stops for midterms and for 2028. They need the borders to be open and get all they can into America and make us their slaves. If they put Cam or Michelle on the ballot, their main goal is to hand America to the enemy. Remember, Biden said we work for them. I don't remember that, but I wasn't listening to much that Biden had to say, but these Negroes will listen to him.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
Yeah, all the people like sitting up here talking about Trump's crime, everything he's done, but miraculously forget all about the crime bill that did so much to black people. But overlook that. Vote blue no matter who.
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Again!
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Going, you're being a racist! Racist!
John, miss me with all that dumb bullshit. Let's hear what the heck the rest of this has to say, and then we moving on. Let me figure out where I was. Hold on a second. Whoever this lady is. This News Nation.
Jeremy Christensen joining me tonight. Thanks for being here, Jeremy.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. You said these cases, you investigated them, nothing happened. They went into thin air, no prosecutions. How do you think this played out? What happened here?
Well, like I said, I was assigned to a state task force. Let me be clear. This wasn't a federal task force. This was run by the state of Minnesota, Department of Human Services. And so they ran it. And my personal belief is that the powers to be higher up in the state of Minnesota just didn't want the case to move forward. And therefore, it just went away. I mean, we don't go out and serve search warrants, collect tons of evidence, do surveillance, do all this. I mean, search warrants are your last line of investigation when you're getting ready to go forward with charges. We had served multiple warrants. I mean, just an immense amount of documents and so forth we seized. And then all of a sudden, the task force just went away. That just does not make any sense. And again, to be clear, during this time, this was a local case and a local prosecution. It was not a federal case, even though I was assigned as a federal agent to the task force.
So do you think the safeguard broke down at the local level or the state level?
Yes, absolutely. There's no question in my mind that the powers to be higher up within the state of Minnesota shut this down. No question in my mind whatsoever.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they did that instead of this investigation now getting worse and opening up years later?
Because there was no reason to disband that task force. I'm confident the person that was in charge of that task force was actually chastised. I think if that person ever comes forward, they may have some enlightening experiences working for the state, because that my understanding was that things didn't go well for that person's career based on this case.
Jeremy, I have to say, this wasn't a small task force. This was 20 agents.
All right, Jeremy and this lady are boring me. Let me go ahead and get to the racism, child. This is racist, allegedly. So we're going to listen to Tim Black now. Shout out to Tim Black TV. And his title is, They Want You Mad at Somalis. Here's the real Minnesota scam. All right, so let's hear what he got to say, child.
Announced a surge in federal agents and investigative resources dispatched to Minnesota. Patel pointed to the recent indictments and convictions handed down, accusing dozens of people of defrauding public assistance programs, including pandemic aid.
I'm seeing too many people leaning into this shit in Minnesota. Don't get me twisted. Bad to steal.
Right now, they're looking at 14 specific programs that receive aid through Medicaid, or they receive money through Medicaid, these federal programs. And again, they're everything from adult daycare services, housing stabilization, so helping with whether it's addiction or homelessness, other at-home services, whether it's supporting autistic children, other behavioral health needs. There are 14 programs. And according to U.S. investigators, federal investigators, the amount of money that was spent on these 14 programs, $18 billion since 2018. Now, is that all fraud? No. But how much of it? That's what they're going to be digging into.
Bad to steal. But at some point, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Stop the fake outrage. You're only mad because they black.
Are people angry enough?
Oh, no. Now people are mad because they're not black. Tim, they're not black. They're Somalis. They said that. They emphatically said that they were not black. So clearly, my let's not take this on black people is going to be falling on deaf ears, DEAF ears. Okay. They're not going to listen, and they're going to take this shit on, as we have seen from the Black Cindy Brady and what we just heard from Tim Black. And they're going to go ahead and get themselves engulfed into it and say that they're black. They are not black. They specifically have said that they are not black. But you heard in a few of those videos where they're now saying that they're black. Now, all of a sudden, Somalis is sticking that on in there. They just easing that on in there. They going to ease on down the road like Michael damn Jackson, okay? Now, all of a sudden, they trying to say that they black. No, refer back to here later on when this turns into a thing, and then black people gonna be crying again, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be rolling. I try to tell ya. I try to tell ya. Don't get into this shit. We ain't got shit to do with this. Is about fraud. This is about money. Y'all want to try to make this about race. It is about fucking money. It is about saying that you have something and getting paid for it when you did not. Just like the PPP loans, when people were saying that they had something and they did not, and they got money for it. Y'all wasn't carrying on about who was black, who was white, who was anything. It was like, get the money back, fix it, take care of it, right? This is the same damn thing. But no, everybody want to now focus on the fact that it's Somalis, and because they feeling some kind of way about ICE, and they feeling some kind of way about asylum seekers, even though y'all was just complaining about the fact that they was taking your benefits. Oh, y'all really didn't know how much of benefits they poors, listen to me, child. I be trying to help y'all, okay? Y'all got to come up out of being poor, because I'm telling you, these motherfuckers don't give a shit about you. They not going to help you. You got to help yourself, child. Stop focusing on Donald Trump. Stop focusing on whether you like him or not. Stop focusing on how he make you feel. Go on out there and get what's legally out there for you, because shit is not labeled white, black, or anything else. It is labeled you either qualify for it or you don't, and get your weight up, because these motherfuckers don't care. They seemingly are just forgetting about the fact that this is fraud, and now it's turning into Donald Trump. Forget Tim. Forget Ilyan, forget anybody in Minnesota, forget all those hundreds of people. Just focus on Donald Trump, your eye off the prize, and then you get Lucy football banana tailpiped yet again. But come on, child, let's hear it. We listen to all sides around here, child. Go ahead, see how it's racism.
Have we had enough yet of the third world? Are we beginning to recognize that this is a anti-white racial genocide against the first world? That these people are not like us. They cannot be us.
Child, did he just quote Kendrick Lamar?
That there are differences coded in our genetics that make it impossible.
Time out.
So one sounding racist white man means that black people now got to get in here with the Somalis, that this now becomes our issue because now they in trouble, and some white man that don't know what the fuck he's talking about said something. Now we got to be on one. No, sir. No, sir. Don't do it. Don't do it, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all in advance. Okay. They said they not black. Good luck to them people, child. Thank you, News Ticks. He said accountability is racist, child. We already know. Thank you so much. Everybody hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
These MAGA people losing their damn minds because some black people got some money out of it.
No, Somali people did. Let me correct you. Somali people did.
Out of the state. They don't give a shit about that money. It took a while for me to get to this point. Initially, I was like, well, shit, it's a lot of money. To be honest with you, I was a little embarrassed. I mean, black Americans, we're pretty, industrious. We come up with things. We're real creative. How do we miss this one? No, I know it's wrong. Stealing is wrong. So initially I was upset, but not upset. I was never really upset about it, but I reported on it and I called it what it was, a scam, right? These scumbags.
It's fraud. It's a scam. It's illegal. It's not right. You're stealing from the state level probably and the federal level and taking poors. They taking away from ya. They taking stuff away from ya. That could have been your kids, poors. Let's not act like y'all don't need no help with the kids. That could have been some money for you over there in Minnesota. And while everybody talking about it's probably happening everywhere, it probably is. But right now, let's stay focused on what we need to be focused on, because that takes away from Tim Walz, who is responsible, Ilhan Omar, who is responsible, and whoever the fuck the mayor is. If y'all told me I missed it, I apologize. Tom, thank you, boo. He said, girl, keep spitting facts. It's not about race. Thank you so much, hon. I appreciate you. Come on, the other Tim on the screen.
Scam artists, whatever. Okay. I thought this story was going to go away because, it's money. It wasn't like they were trafficking children. It's not like they were, they just stole money. People steal money every day in the United States. More on that later. But family, it's been about 2 weeks since the story really broke open. People are still doing live streams on this shit. I mean, they're talking about it like it's a major, major catastrophic event. Don't get me wrong.
Child, what did I just say a few weeks ago? I said, how come no one is talking about this? Nobody is talking about this. Did I not just say that for the regular smegulars? I was like, this is crazy. They should be saying Tim Tom should be resigning or expelled, child, whatever the hell you do with him as a governor. And the same thing with Ilyan, whatever the fuck you do to get rid of her, because this happened under their watch. They allowed it to happen. They taking pictures with the criminals. Ilyan is involved with 2 of the criminal units, allegedly, but I read that yesterday. But no one is saying anything about it. Now all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, Nick did his thing. Now everybody want to be into it. And now it's like, oh, now why are you just talking about this? What the fuck are y'all talking about? So we should just let it go, right? Just let it go. Fuck it. While y'all still gonna continue to complain about inflation and stuff costs too much, and I can't afford the eggs, and I can't afford the milk, and I can't afford this, and I can't afford a place to live, and I can't afford nothing. And everything that Donald Trump is doing is wrong. He don't do nothing right. Oh my God, he's a racist. How are we ever gonna afford to do anything? It's all his fault. Child, y'all was also complaining under Joe Biden, but y'all seem to forget all that. Y'all definitely couldn't afford the eggs and the milk when he was in power, but y'all certainly didn't go at him, the creator of the crime bill. Y'all certainly didn't go after him at all like this. He said crime is down. Y'all was like, all right, crime is down. Child, please. No one ever thought that crime was down. I don't care what them statistics say. Live in a place where there's a lot of crime and then come back and talk to us about it. Now, all of a sudden, forget the fraud, forget Tim, forget Ilyan and all the rest of them motherfuckers. Just go ahead and put this at the head of Donald Trump's feet. When technically it was how many presidents ago? How many presidents ago did this start? So I think it started allegedly around 2014, 2015. Who was president? Is it Obama? So it's either Clinton, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump, but only focus on one.
On the state level, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money on the state level. But the way the number of conservatives and people that are talking about it, family, I got to call it. Just as a black man looking at it, I'm like, hold on, man.
As a black man,
this is only being a big issue. To this extent, this local story, this state story is only a major issue because these are Somalis.
That's the only reason.
I can say that with a clear voice. I can say that boldly.
That's the only reason. It's because they Somalis. It's not just state money, it's federal money. But that's the only reason. It's because of Somalis, Tim. Come on now. I expected more from you than this. Child, this is the shit that I be talking about, y'all. Trying to eat. This is why the word racism has been watered down over and over and over and over again, because everything is not racist. Just forget about the fucking fraud. Just forget about the what were the hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars in total that were coming in on a yearly basis over and over and over again. Whole damn neighborhoods, people across the street, people who live in those areas where Nick was interviewing them, saying they never seen kids. How do you have a daycare and you never seen a kid? How do you run and have a daycare and you never have seen a kid? Again, if you've had kids and you put them in daycare, you know damn well that is impossible, especially in the morning when people are dropping these crumb snatchers off, and especially in the afternoon when we are picking them crumb snatchers up. Child, you cannot make this shit up.
Look into the camera and tell you that. Why? Because I believe it to be true.
No, there you go.
I believe it to be true. Half the people upset don't even live in Minnesota. So it wasn't their money, right? Now, if you live in Minnesota.
And this is what Tierney said. Shout out to the regulars. Remember when Tierney said, you should go get you some food stamps because that's your money that you can get. No shade, Tierney, if you're listening. But you did say that foolish shit. Basically, Tim is saying, it's not your money, sir. It is at the end of the day because we pay fucking taxes. And even though they're state funds, there are federal funds. And I certainly have to pay taxes. I don't know about y'all, but I most certainly have to pay taxes. And why is it that we can't say something about something that is wrong? And if you take care of something that is wrong, then that means that somebody else will think twice before they do something wrong. That's why you got all these damn gremlins out here gremlinizing all over creation, because they're never held accountable because they fucking mothers come through talking about, not my baby. And then you got these funky ass DAs and prosecutors that don't want to prosecute any damn body, and you let them the fuck out and they get no consequences and they keep doing the same shit over and over and over again. Then you got your Biden sitting up here trying to tell us that crime is down. Okay, gotcha. Anyway, come on, child.
And you're like, damn, I can't get my business going. I can't do this. I can't do that. Look at these fuckers. Look what they were able to do. Yeah, I can understand you being upset. You can talk about it all year if you want. Hell, you can talk about it again next year if you want to. In fact, you can bring it up every time, every day, for the rest of your life. You can bring it up. You have a right to do that. It happened in your state. You were directly impacted. Your money was directly used for it. And that money, you were turned down for shit in your state. But I got people like that little moron that kissed Trump's ass, like constantly, untalented little dude that thinks he's a comedian. It's not funny. He like puts on wigs and pretends to be Jasmine Crockett doing like a minstrel show or something. You know what I'm talking about? He's an irritant. Like it's little.
No, but who cares?
I don't know his name. I don't want to know his name. But she just look.
Who cares?
Little ignorant motherfucker, right? And he put a video out complaining, saying he was a small business person. Meanwhile, he has this shitty ass like pancake mix with him on the front of it, looking like Aunt Jemima, trying to basically a knockoff. And I'm trying to get a lot of Americans can't get business loans. These dirty Somalians, they get business. He's like saying, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna have to call this out.
You probably can't get a business loan, one, because you probably don't have a business that qualifies for one, or two, you're not structured correctly, or three, you ain't been in business long enough, or four, your personal credit sucks. You're not guaranteed to get a business loan just because you have a business. Like, what are we talking about right now? And whoever that dude that he's talking about, what does he have to do with this? And what does he have to do with what's going on? I swear to you, people cannot stay on task. Why can't people stay on task? Yes, we know that there's something going on here and there might be something going on there, but can we discuss what's going on here and get this to be taken care of? We can talk about that at another time on another live stream, which we will. Yeah. You sending it to me, we're talking about it, right? But I hate when people do that too. Why should you care? What? Well, 1 second, nobody cares. And the next minute, when someone tries to say something and discuss it, it's like, why do you care? It's like, this is why I don't give a fuck about what other people think. You can't go around trying to please everybody because you will drive yourself nuts. I promise you. And that's one of the things that these freaking Democrats have done, trying to make everybody happy and satisfied. You cannot do that. These are the rules. Follow the fucking rules. You break the fucking rules. You get held the fuck accountable. That's how it works. But no, everybody wants to bend the rules for everybody so that everybody can feel good. And that's why everything's fucked the fuck up right now.
The racism is so evident. And then the coonery.
Yeah, coonery.
The sellout. Yeah. Somebody broke the law. That's true. But the level of their anger and frustration and outrage does not fit the crime, Johnson. We're not talking about loss of life. We're not talking about terroristic acts. We're talking about money. Feed the Future is the name of the program. The amount of money that's been embezzled or stolen. 250 to 300 million, and then we added everything, $1 billion across child nutrition, autism services, housing, and medical programs since 2018. So it's not a one-time shop. It wasn't a one-time theft. This is over years. Over years. That's important. The other reason why I say the Somalia thing is full of funk is that a lot of these people are being prosecuted. It's not like they got away with it. They did get away with it, and now they're not getting away with it because 90 to 98 defendants were charged across.
That's not true, because if they got money in, what was the last year? I believe he may have said 2025. Are we not in 2025? When that dude was reading the amounts of money that is being received when he was going around with Nick, I believe some of those years were 2024 and 2025. So you're trying to tell me, so Tim, come on now, man. You're trying to tell me that if 98 people got indicted and convicted, let's just put it out. They all got convicted. So there's no one else that could have kept it going since all those businesses are still going. That was like Feeding Frenzy or whatever the hell it was called. And then the other organization was trying to get their status back so they could start getting more money again. So it just all ends, right? Yeah, just keep trusting Tim, child. Keep trusting Tim. Forget about it. Mr. Mr. Sabram, thank you so much, hon. I appreciate the super sticker. Shout out to all of y'all that are hanging in there. Shout out to B Strizzle for Shizzle. B Strizzle for Shizzle. I appreciate you, boo. He said, I've been a fan for a short while now, but I still want to know who Bueller is. Happy New Year's, everyone. Bueller is a character from Forrest Bueller's Day Off, 80s movie. Shout out to Generation X. If you know, you know. Are you Generation Z? Shout out to the Generation Z. We don't like y'all, but we pick and choose some of y'all.
Related schemes. More than 60 plead guilty. And if you plead guilty to stealing like this, you're going to get some time. So nearly 100 people have been charged. It's not like it's gone it's not like this deed has gone unpunished. It's not like they got away with it. Nothing's happening. You know, we get upset about, as a Black American citizen who complains about police violence, shit like that. I get upset when cops get away with crime. There's always going to be people that commit crime. The least you can get is justice. If you can't prevent the crime, you want justice. Minnesota's getting justice. It's close to it.
There was one person that was from Minnesota that was in here earlier. Any other Minnesotians, are y'all getting justice? You know, because as long as the 98 was taken care of, all that money that's still going, that's not a problem. They still don't have any documentation, nothing about an audit, nothing about compliance, nothing about what guardrails are put into place to ensure that this doesn't happen again, because that's what happens when real businesses get caught doing something, or not fraud, but they F something up and they did it wrong. They got to take a whole freaking storybook look at the whole thing from beginning to end, figure out what went wrong, where it went wrong, who did it wrong, and how it can be fixed, put the fix into place. You got to write up a whole thing on it. You got to put it in front of all the board and everybody to approve it, and it bet not happen again. And then they come back and they reevaluate it, depending on how bad it was, 6 months to a year later, to ensure that the fix is still working. That's a corporate America thing. So maybe Tim don't know about that. I don't know. But child, this conversation sounds crazy. Big Floyd, thank you, hon. Keep putting that truth out there. Props. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Shout out to B Strizzle, member for 2 months. I appreciate you. I'm 1987. Just haven't seen it in a long ass time. Gotcha. All right, 87. At least you're not Gen Z, child. Woo, Lord, help your people and help Gen Z. And help Tim Black.
Possible by locking motherfuckers up. 60 of them pled guilty. It's not even they fell on the sword. I did it. The money looked too good. I had to do it. Whatever. So indictments are continuing with FBI surging resources under Cash Patel. So Cash Patel said, send in the FBI to the state to help out, because we really got to punish these Somalians. So the sentences include prison time, restitution orders to recover millions from the ringleader. They try to get that money back, okay?
That money's going.
So to me, this seems like a bunch of horseshit. The amount of people that are complaining about it, making content about it, going on and on and on about it. So we got the little moron guy from the Trump. I don't know how he became the Trump guy. I know Elon likes him. He retweets him sometimes.
So is this TDS, Tim? Come on now. I thought you was better than this. So this is about Trump derangement right now? Who cares about, why do you keep talking about that little guy? I know y'all said his name. I don't know who he is. But what does he have to do with any of this? Does he live in Minnesota? Shout out to Uncle Rick. He said, Messi, this has been going on. Minnesota went from sound thinking independent to a democratic wasteland. Child, we see it. Yeah, we see it. Exactly. That money is gone. It's in the houses, it's in the cars, it's in the expensive things that they bought, the vacations, all of that. Oh, because that's the other thing. And some of them people allegedly are still on like welfare and food stamps and stuff. So make sense. Hopefully Nick comes out with another one where he shows that at. That's what I've heard. So allegedly.
When he mocks Jasmine Crockett, dressed up like Tyler Perry, it's like a little tiny Tyler Perry. Put him in your pocket. He might try to have sex with you. And then we got like the conservative Christian Black women that are Republican, whatever, that are also doing content on it, right? So that's what. But when we start looking at this from a more broader view, when you rise up and say, you know what, let's look at this in context with other crimes that are happening. Let's look at some other frauds, because why are people so upset about these frauds? Nobody upset about it. They're upset about it because it's Somalians. Because this is nothing. This is a drop in the bucket for the financial schemes that have happened in the United States. Once again,
this thought process that is basically along the lines of, but white people do it too. That one was more expensive than this, so you should ignore this. When maybe Bernie Madoff. Well, when Bernie Madoff did what he did, that was a lot worse than this. So I don't know why y'all worried about that. Child, it was worse when they did this, so don't even worry on about that. You know what I'm saying? This is so, no, I agree with you. Actually, I was thinking the same thing, Eddie, because he is typically not this ignorant, but I'm sorry, this is ignorant. This doesn't even make sense. Just forget about it. Just forget about it and just go land on it's because they're black. They're not black. They're not black. I'm going to scream it every day that they now trying to do the Michael Jackson moonwalk back into black. They specifically said they were not black. They were Somalian. So they need to stand on business. Stand on business. We need to make them stand on business. But I can see that black people are going to put themselves in the midst of it and get burned somehow. Mark my fucking words. I don't want it. I'm not looking forward to whatever that might be. They need to stay the fuck out of it. But too many can't ever shut the fuck up because their point is to always point at Donald fucking Trump. And it ain't gonna hurt him at the daggone end. They can't even point at fucking Tim Tom and Ilion. Child, moving the fuck on. I got another video from BCP, but I thought I had something else. Let's go to Spencer Cornelia because I haven't reviewed one of his videos in a while. So shout out to Spencer. His video says he should be in prison exposing Minnesota's fraud scandal. I might not look at the whole thing, but I definitely want to hear what he has to say. Y'all, please make sure you hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
Over 100 million views. I'm even told that not everyone is aware this story exists. Look, I think this was a black pill moment for the culture because many Americans are starting to finally wake up that this progressive society that we were sold is essentially just stealing from us. This fraud is so big that the feds are saying that the scandal could amount to $9 billion.
Security, opportunity, and freedom. That's what you get out of life in Minnesota.
You do get freedom from government oversight, as you'll find out in today's video.
We can and should continue to disagree and debate, to hold our ground when we know the policies are destructive, and to keep telling the unvarnished truth about what's going on in this country right now.
Tim Walz will always label himself as the good guy with all of the better policies, but as we'll uncover in this video, completely incompetent as governor with stopping the fraud, and you all should be angry because we are all victims of the scheme. The childcare fraud is only a fraction of the total money being taken from Minnesota taxpayers. We'll start with the Feeding Our Future fraud.
So you have my problem.
Yeah, before we even get started, again, when that lady just reported on the drop when Trump made the transitions for the big beautiful bill. So you think that all those people that got dropped off, and I don't know if they were Somalis or not, but just imagine if enough of them were, they're allegedly still getting some sort of benefits, even though they're allegedly a part of some of these schemes and living the high life and living in, big houses with nice cars and all that type of stuff while still receiving some sort of federal benefit, food stamps, housing vouchers or whatever, welfare, whatever it might be. Yeah, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem. And if it's happening here, yes, absolutely. It could be happening anywhere. So make sure that everybody that might be doing it knows that they're not going to let this shit go right here.
As long as I'm governor, we're going to continue to keep calling out the cruelty and corruption that's coming out of this administration.
A few weeks ago, the DOJ posted this news release titled 78th Defendant Charged in Feeding Our Future Fraud Scheme. Dual operated fake food sites in Pelican Rapids and Moorhead, stole more than $1 million. He falsely claimed to be serving over 40,000 meals to children every week. He claimed to serve 6,000 meals to children every day, 7 days a week. That daily figure is more than double the entire population. In a single year, the two conspirators were able to take over $1 million in federal child nutrition program funds from Feeding Our Future. They laundered most of the taxpayer dollars to their families and to themselves.
Yeah, they overcounting kids. Exactly. That's a simple freaking audit or compliance review.
Dual used his cut of the fraud proceeds to travel and to buy real estate in Minnesota. Earlier this year, the DOJ posted this news release titled Federal Jury Finds Feeding Our Future Mastermind and Co-Defendant Guilty in $250 million pandemic fraud scheme. The defendants falsely claimed to have served 91 million meals, for which they fraudulently received nearly $250 million in federal funds. That money did not go to feed kids. Instead, it was used to fund their lavish lifestyles. The fraud in all these stories seems to have been pretty easy to catch. These weren't exactly elaborate schemes. With just a little bit of effort, just a little bit of investigation, you probably would have been able to stop it, which makes you wonder, did they actually want them to stop? Investigators revealed Wednesday that they have clawed back about 60 million of the nearly 250 million stolen from the federal child nutrition program in 2020 and 2021. 5 Eyewitness News has learned about half of the money recovered as cash seized from bank accounts, but the remainder is tied up in property, including vehicles and real estate spread across the country and the world. That includes a nearly 6,000 square.
Oh, real estate, businesses, and cars spread all over the world. Yeah, they would have to be seized because that money is gone. That money is gone.
House in Plymouth, which Book's co-defendant Salim Saeed purchased for $1.1 million using federal food money. I'm starting to believe that our government already collects enough tax revenue to solve all these unsolvable problems that we hear about every election cycle, but it's the fraud that seems to be stopping this progress. Just a couple months ago, the DOJ posted this news release titled First Defendant Charged in Autism Fraud Scheme. Hassan defrauded autism program of $14 million, carried out Feeding Our Future fraud, bought real estate in Kenya with taxpayer money. To make the story even worse, it seems like going to your local Costco to finish grocery shopping is more difficult than setting up these multi-million-dollar schemes. Hassan formed and registered.
Exactly. And yes, people who may have kids with autism, then that means it's possibly that you was missing out because that money was going on over there to them where there was no kids, specifically ones with autism in that autism daycare. But child, you listen to CNN. Should you be able to go into a daycare? The door should be locked.
Smart Therapy LLC to provide necessary one-on-one ABA therapy to children with autism. The people that were hired by this government-funded company weren't exactly qualified. These behavioral technicians were often 18 or 19-year-old relatives with no formal education beyond high school and no training or certifications related to the treatment of autism. Hassan and her partners approached parents in the Somali community to recruit their children into Smart Therapy. After enrolling these kids, the company would give kickbacks to the participants, and eventually a lot of the money would leave this country. Is everyone starting to realize that our governments probably already have enough tax revenue to solve all these problems? We don't need to continue taxing the rich more or whatever talking points you'll hear about during election season. Seems like a lot of our money is just going to different countries. 6 additional defendants charged. 1 defendant pleads guilty in ongoing fraud schemes. This DOJ press release mentions autism fraud, but also a housing scheme. This paragraph is the most telling. The annual budget for a housing program was expected to be around $2.6 million annually. They were wrong. By 2024, they were paying out $104 million. Most of these schemes start to sound similar. A couple fraudsters, fake invoices, fake documents, fake lease agreements. Then they go to the government, get millions of dollars, and then they just leave this country with the millions they stole.
Any amount of fraud is too much. That's why over the last several years, we've made many systematic changes to state government to both detect fraud and hold those accountable after it happened.
We need to stop caring about words and placing way more emphasis on actions.
Oh, shout out to Spence, because I was just about to say that. Where the paperwork at? Who did the investigation? Because child, at this point, they need to be fired too and possibly prosecuted as well, child. Who was it? Because we need to know not to use them MFers no more. They could be nationally known, child.
A lot of what you're about to see in a minute could have been avoided with just a minimum level of competence and a minimum desire to act in the best interest of the American taxpaying citizens. It's not just daycares. Somalis in Minnesota have been setting up fake medical centers and fraudulently diagnosing their children with autism to systematically steal billions of taxpayer dollars through Medicaid. Medicaid autism claims in 2018, $3 million, 2023, $399 million. On X right now, because of the story, there are so many accounts reposting tweets. They're giving their own opinion. I think what we're seeing is a lot of people are finally waking up to the size and scale of the fraud going on in this country. The mayor of Cross Lake, Minnesota wrote a letter to Governor Walz, state reps and senators raising concern about the budgeting. Minnesotans watched a historic $18 billion surplus disappear in a single biennium, only to now face an updated projected $2.9 billion to $3 billion deficit in the 28-29 biennium. You can't just lose $20 billion and claim ignorance. This had to have been set up by Walz so that he could extract money from the American tax.
You mean after a certain number, at least, like Tim Black is just acting like $9 million is not, or is it billion, y'all? I forget. $9 billion is not a big deal. Child, don't worry about that. This is all about racism, child, against black people. They are not black. I know y'all tired of me, but I'm gonna keep saying it. I don't care. I'm gonna have to keep saying it because they are not black at their own admission. So we are going to accept them where they were. We're not taking on people's nothing. I'm not, but clearly he is, and so is the Black Cindy Brady. Shout out to Wombat in the building. I appreciate you, boo. He said, complaining about massive fraud is being exposed as diabolical. Liberals gonna liberal, I guess. About the only thing I know about Minnesota is that song Cold Like Minnesota by Lil Yachty. Happy New Year to you in the chat. Happy New Year to you, boo. And you know, I don't know no song about Lil Yachty, but I trust that y'all know it. Shout out to all of y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your generosity as always, Mr. Wombat.
Taxpayers and send it to a group of people he knew would vote for him and keep him in office. I want you to think about just how much money that is. The city could have built a new sports stadium, multi-billion-dollar stadium for the Twins, Timberwolves, and Vikings, and still had a couple $1 billion left over in comparison to what they actually did. The letter also indicates that the state is lowering in key metrics such as overall tax competitiveness, job growth, and median household income growth. Even worse, the state experienced a net out-migration of almost 50,000 residents in the past 5 years. Which leads us to one of the most viral stories of the year. YouTuber Nick Shirley visited many childcare facilities around Minnesota, only to find that they were basically empty, hostile, and showed no indication that they were operating as actual childcare facilities. Even worse, he estimates these specific centers have received over $100 million in government funding, and he's just an independent YouTuber with limited resources and time. If you're like me, shaving has probably always been one of those annoying parts of life. The tiny razor bumps, the random cuts, the irritation, most of us just accept that it comes with shaving. For years, I tried working around it. Different cartridges, different shaving cream, even went full beard mode for a while, which trust
damn thing. That's his commercial. Hold on, y'all. My bad. Hold on a second. Yo, this was crazy. If y'all didn't see this representative woman, which is another woman that people need to be talking about and calling out because she's here on the fucking ground in Minnesota, but she don't even want to talk to the constituents. She don't even want to talk to Nick Shirley. She's just saying, oh, it's Republicans and this administration, the same shit. People gonna get tired of that eventually. I don't know how they not tired of it, right? Tired of it. Michelle had said, who cares if these people came from where they came from and what color they are. They're breaking our laws and scamming every one of our pocketbooks. No, it does matter. In this case, when Tim Black is saying that it's racism, it matters. It's not racist. I agree. It is fraud. It is allegedly money laundering. It is a crime. That's what people need to be focused on. But some people, just like the Black Cindy Brady, are going to make it be about race because that's what they do so that they can then stick it and blame Donald fucking Trump instead of putting it, at least put it, if you're going to put it on a white man, put it on Tim Tom. It's his state and whoever the mayor is, and Ilyan and that lady that they about to play right here, and anybody else that's their representatives that's supposed to be making sure the laws are followed in this state. Donald Trump is far from the right person to be worried about all this. No one seems to want to hold these motherfuckers accountable. And the only reason that I want to point out that Somalis are not black, because they made all these TikToks specifically saying, we not black, I ain't black, I'm not black, I'm Somalian, I'm Somalian, Somalian. Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy, Somalians. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I think a big reason why the story is going so viral is it's hit people deep. Like, we've heard about fraud in the government, but this was an example. This was bubbling up. This was an example of getting to actually see it live in person on camera. We have a visual to the level of fraud. And the biggest aspect of all this is there was clearly zero oversight from the government. All it took was just walking up to these childcare centers, checking the phone numbers to see if they actually worked. Nothing, nada. There was no due diligence on any government agency to check that these were actually childcare centers. Hundreds of millions of dollars, poof, gone. The ultimate clip.
Well, thank you, Spencer Cornelia, for having some common sense. I don't understand how those people on CNN's panel can even try to justify any of this. The phone numbers don't work. You don't have an application. You don't know when anyone's going to be there. You can't take a kid. You're a fucking daycare center. You're not even taking a name to put on a wait list. Come on, y'all. Please stop playing these stupid ass games, especially if you have children who you have had in freaking daycare.
Within his video is of a learning center that didn't even have learning spelled correctly. Over the last few years, Americans have obviously been fed up with rising costs, rising inflation, inability to buy a home, student loan debt, all these issues. And then these videos are highlighting that in a way we've all been subsidizing fraud. That's where a lot of our money's gone. It's clear that our government already collects enough tax revenue from us. Until this blatant fraud is taken care of, we need to stop with all this conversation about taxing the rich or taxing people more. That has to end. This fraud has to end.
Year after year, we brought new ideas to the legislature to stay ahead of the evolving tactics, and they are evolving. AI poses immense challenges in the fraud space.
Isn't it ironic that Tim Walz is claiming to worry about AI fraud when he couldn't stop or prevent the most basic fraud scheme in the history of the world? If he's unable to prevent this very basic childcare fraud scheme, how in the world does Minnesota expect to stop the AI fraud? I mean, this was like a $5 sign with a misspelled word that a 6-year-old can spell outside the learning center, and yet he still couldn't prevent this from happening.
Leaders don't spend all day insulting people and blaming others. Leaders do the work. So I don't know about
leaders do the work. You know, this is aimed at Donald Trump.
You. I'm ready to turn the page on these guys. So go ahead. Say it with me. We're not going back.
Isn't it always the people you most expect? Tim Walz will always wax poetic about he's the good guy with all the best policies until you start investigating his office and start realizing that he's either the most incompetent governor on the planet or he's complicit in this fraud. Neither option.
Could be both. Could be both.
It's a good one.
It's an agenda that serves nobody except the richest and the most extreme amongst us. And it's an agenda that does nothing for our neighbors in need.
The irony is his leadership has absolutely crushed his neighbors in need. Billions of dollars have been paid in tax revenue to the state, and yet all that seems to be happening is that the money is leaving the country and being spent on waste and abuse and fraud. Maybe he should take his own advice. This ex-post states that there was a restaurant in Minnesota called Safari who claimed to serve 18,000 meals a day to hungry children. The only problem was that the restaurant could only seat 35 people, making this a little bit of a math.
I was about to say, how in the hell do you serve 18,000 people per day? Not even a month, per day? Child, I don't even think Big Tiff had these crazy ass numbers.
Problem. I saw mention of that story in a DOJ press release, so I'm pretty confident in its validity. It does feel like this is the tip of the iceberg moment, where the watershed moment where we see a little bit of fraud, and over the next 6 months, we're going to see more fraud than ever exposed. Since this video is painting Minnesota's leadership in a dark light, I thought I'd reward them with a free Visit Minnesota video that I created. Enjoy. Visit Minnesota, where you can feel safe exploring our beautiful downtown streets at any hour.
Damn.
Your safety is our top priority. We invest heavily in our communities to make sure no one is left behind. Minneapolis is a great place for small businesses to grow and thrive. Our thriving economy allows for some to become millionaires just by filling out paperwork. Our state government works efficiently to serve the people. We believe in transparency and accountability at every level. Our tenacious leader gives motivational speeches. Shop at iconic Minnesota brands with unbeatable prices. Your tax dollars work hard for you here. And your children will receive the highest quality childcare in this country. Visit Minnesota today. You'll feel right at home. Naturally, you're probably wondering if there were any warning signs to this fraud. Could they have known? Could Tim Walton have been given any notice that this fraud was taking place right under his nose? This post has 2.5 million views from a lady who claims to have run an early learning daycare in Orlando, Florida 20 years ago. She states, someone from the state of Florida came unannounced to my center every other month to check my facility, check vaccination records, ensure the facility was safe, and my attendance records matched who was actually there that day. For this to happen, the government...
Child, I didn't even think from this perspective. Exactly. Just think if the state showed up, which they can, like she just said. Shout out to Spencer for bringing this part in and for this lady saying that. Child, do y'all want y'all's daycares where your kids are, where no one can come ever inspect, whether they're inspecting the daycare, whether they are inspecting the kitchen, whether they're inspecting the playground? Because, child, you got one bad spike, one bad nail, somebody gets hurt, and a kid got an issue, your ass is getting sued and you're not in business. Yes, they absolutely can spot check and stop in at any fucking time that they want to. Shout out to him for bringing this point up.
Minnesota was willfully overlooking the fraud. The state employee they sent would go as far as checking the books and toys available to ensure dolls of many ethnicities, races, books portraying people of many different races, etc. There's no way these centers operated without government just looking away. Even better is this account, Minnesota Staff Fraud Reporting Commentary, sharing a post from September 2024, highlighting all of the fraud from Tim Walz. $500 million was the expected number. I don't think it's fair to assume that Tim Walz or Kamala Harris sees every single mention on X. However, this was a possible president and vice president, just a couple million views away from being president and vice president of this country.
Well, Spencer, we brought up the fact that this was already going on with Tim Tom, and Cam still chose him to be vice freaking president nominee. So either they didn't do their due diligence or she didn't give a damn. I guess they just didn't see it because it was hidden so damn well. Hidden in plain sight. Isn't that the name of a movie or something? Ain't that like a Tom Cruise movie or something? Shout out to my fave. He said Tim Tom ate Cam bathtub greens on forum. That's what's wrong with him. He ate them greens from the bathtub. You so crazy. Thank you so much. Kung Fu Fan, I did get your email. I can't do that video today, but I may save it for tomorrow or later today if I do another stream. Thank you so much. Shout out to all of y'all that are here. Please hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
Scary thought. So I think it's fair to assume that they were at least alerted to this. They absolutely knew. There had to be crazy due diligence. And the fact that Twitter accounts were sending it their way around the same time that they were running for office leads me to believe that they absolutely had to know. The Minnesota Star Tribune released an article titled, "Trump Claims Minnesota Lost Billions to Fraud. The Evidence to Date Isn't Close." The fraud allegations have been used as a justification for federal immigration enforcement against Minnesota's Somali population. It might have been best to sit this one out, journalists. I mean, a YouTuber with a tiny budget just beat you at your own game and embarrassed your entire profession. And the claim that the president was possibly just using this as political theater didn't really age well, considering this is like hundreds of millions of dollars in fraud that's being exposed right now.
In order for the scheme to work, the daycare centers need to sign up low-income families that qualify for child care assistance funding. These surveillance videos are from a case prosecuted by Hennepin County. They show parents checking their kids into a center only to leave with them a few minutes later. Sometimes no children would show up. But either way, the center would bill the state for a full day of child care. This video from that same case shows a man handing out envelopes of what are believed to be kickback payments to parents who are in on the fraud.
This article posted in May.
Oh, sounds pretty intricate to me. It's not true. This is Donald Trump's fault. If they have fraud here, then he needs to be investigated. A lot of Trump derangement syndrome going on around here.
2018 highlights how millions of dollars in cash fly out of Minneapolis' airport MSP. This fraud is suspected of costing Minnesota taxpayers as much as $100 million a year. 10 years ago, they were reporting on the connection between daycare fraud and the surge in carry-on cash. The Fox 9 investigators were first to report that daycare fraud was on the rise in Minnesota, exposing how some businesses were gaming the system to steal millions in government subsidies meant to help low-income families with their childcare expenses. Sources in the Somali community told Fox 9 it is an open secret that starting a daycare center is a license to make money. The fraud is so widespread, they said, that people buy shares of daycare businesses to get a cut What of the huge public subsidies that are pouring in?
Turns out that the Quality Learning Center, specifically Quality Learning Center, has received 13 violations and has been investigated multiple times just in the last 4 years by the Department of Human Services in Minnesota. And all of this is public record information. Anybody can find it by just typing the address 1411 Nicollet Avenue. And immediately I found this public information from the Department of Human Services in Minnesota. This checks out to be the spot. It's a child care center, total capacity 99. And as you guys can see, these are all the list of various violations and investigations of this place. Since May 9th, 2022, they've been investigated and received violations over 13 different times. For things like children did not have daily access to interest areas, areas that are used by children are not in good repair, crib mattresses and or sheets did not meet the safety requirements. They even got a violation because the program did not report a death, serious injury, fire, or emergency.
How the hell a kid become deceased? Allegedly, it's a kid, and y'all don't even report that. A lot of responsibility for these daggone daycares. Is it an easy thing to start? Pretty much, pretty easily, as long as you can pass a background check, because it's something I've looked into doing. Can you believe it? Me watching somebody else's freaking crumb snatchers, but yes, it's something I've looked into. And you got to go through a class, so you got to do CPR. You know, you got to do all that type of stuff. You got to have a spot or place, which it would have been a home daycare, where you have a way to get out in case of emergency. If you're in the basement, you have to have a way to get out from there. You have to have windows. You have to have a place for them to play at outside that's safe and confined. Child. Anyway, play these games with somebody who don't know. I tell y'all what I don't know. And unfortunately or fortunately, I know about crumb snatchers and daycare.
Emergency properly.
You're telling me that this fraud was going on for more than 10 years and the governor had no idea, yet now all of a sudden on X, we're seeing many mentions of stories that were public on the news and being shared with the governor that they should know about all this fraud, hundreds of millions of dollars. How does this go undetected? The infamous Quality Learning Center at 1411 Nicollet had already been raided by the FBI in 2015. It was called Salama Child Care Center at the time. They, the scamming Somalis, simply obtained another license by making up a new name at the same address. The FBI has been investigating that location for 10 years. I really want to see a documentary on the first Somalian to come over to America and figure out how easy it is to defraud this government. Almost like a fraudster, Christopher Columbus. I imagine they thought that they would need some elaborate scheme in order to generate millions of dollars in fraud dollars, only to find out that it was really simple. You know, that person then went and told all of their friends back home, and it would just be fascinating to see all these people realize how stupid Americans are, how dumb our government is, and how probably strategic that person was to figure out, like, I'm going to go to a place where they're going to treat me really nice, have liberal values, and allow me to do this without any oversight.
All of a sudden, there was a boom, and people were buying very expensive homes.
Definitely Somalian. Definitely Somalian.
And posting about those homes.
Where was all the money coming from?
Everybody knew, but nobody had the courage to speak about it because they understood the repercussions. So I decided to speak out.
Afraid of repercussions for speaking out in the Twin Cities, Abdi went on a trip to Africa early this year. When he got there, he says he was attacked and pepper sprayed for information he put online regarding feeding our future.
At this point, it's almost impossible to defend Tim Walz. He had to have been receiving information, the whistleblowers, all of this intel. So if he truly did not know, he has a level of incompetence that you cannot have in a government. You cannot afford to have in your governor anyway.
Because they don't want to offend that population. And the early numbers that I'm getting in on the Somalis in Minnesota is 75% of the Somalis in Minnesota are on full government assistance. That's full welfare.
Polymarket's X account posted, breaking. U.S. District Attorney admits Minnesota Somali fraud has cost U.S. taxpayers nearly the entire GDP of Somalia. Many years ago, someone had the genius idea of allowing all of these immigrants into our country. Now we're finding out that we, the American taxpayer, have essentially been subsidizing their entire lifestyle with a lot of the money going back to their country. And somehow we're surprised that they're committing fraud. I saw this post where a Minnesota representative introduced the Waltz Act to crack down on fraud in government programs and ensure what happened in Minnesota never happens anywhere else in America. My hope is that blockchain technology advances to the point where all of this will be on the blockchain and we can have complete transparency about where all the money is going. But still, I found this funny. I wanted to share it with you because how funny would it be if his legacy is his name attached to an act for committing fraud?
We've got a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Today, I informed Governor Tim Walz that SBA is halting $5.5 million in annual funding to Minnesota.
I want to know why Minnesotans, whatever they're called, Sotans, why are they not out in the streets? Somebody just said that they're doing a protest January the 17th. I have to look into that, child, because I think that's a Saturday. I might be able to go over to Minnesota, even though it's cold, and see what's going on, see what they got to say. Not knock on some daycare doors though. Yeah, I ain't got time for all that. But I go to Minnesota to see what's up if they doing a protest for real on a Saturday. But shout out to Spencer Cornelia for being more in depth with what it is that he's showing, which is a lot different than what we're seeing from all the other programs, which is great to see something new. But this is just about daycare. Well, it's fraud overall, but they're kind of concentrating on the daycare. That's not even the rest of the shit that they're allegedly defrauding y'all, meaning the food stamps and even the Medicaid, if I'm not mistaken. But there's people that are saying that ICE raids are wrong. And I'm not saying that those people aren't U.S. citizens, naturalized, or whatever the hell it is that they are. I forget what you call it, born here, natural born, whatever it's called, right? But for the rest that aren't, then they're getting benefits, that's an issue. And then, of course, with the defrauding, that's an issue. It's all a fucking issue. It's all a fucking issue. But why are Minnesotans not more upset? So now they're going to do protests now because the YouTuber put a documentary out, basically. And now because everyone else has something to say, now they get motivated to do something. Because I feel like most people be apathetic to shit like this and just let it go thinking that somebody else is going to take care of it, child. That's how everybody got into Tiffany's ass, if y'all recall. Tiffany Henyard. Someone was doing YouTube or went down there and it caught wind, and then people started talking about it, and then became the bigger thing that it does. So people like the Black Cindy Brady, who want to just be like, he's just a YouTuber and she's being a YouTuber. You just never know what somebody from YouTube that's going to go do more and get more information than any of these freaking news journalists that's their job, where they're getting paid millions of dollars probably, while they just sit there and just talk shit.
In further review, with dozens of investigations underway, the conclusion is unavoidable. Minnesota cannot be trusted to administer federal tax dollars. Its socialist welfare system has enabled fraud at industrial scale at the expense of honest Americans, and these are the consequences. We're finally beginning to see consequences for the actions of the comically bad governors like Tim Walz. California is next. They're a state that is now trying to steal from the rich to avoid complete bankruptcy. So if you're in Minnesota and California and you keep voting in clowns with stupid policies, don't be surprised when your state unravels with rampant crime, an increase in fraud, and people leaving.
This is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy. When you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white.
Tim would be so much better off if he stopped obsessing about people's race. Suicidal empathy is his term.
That and focusing on Donald Trump. You're the one that's the target here, sir.
That is getting more popular. This is another example of that and why it is killing the West. This X account, Minnesota House Fraud and Oversight Committee, posted a couple hours ago proof that they sent warnings to Tim Walz in an official letter with plenty of data highlighting the fraud happening in his backyard. And of course did nothing about it because worrying about people's skin color is obviously way more important. Breaking, 69% chance Tim Walz is charged with a federal crime. The prediction markets have been reasonably reliable this past year. Kash Patel also posted that government agencies were already investigating the fraud, but he would be sending more resources. The FBI believes this is just the tip of a very large iceberg. We will continue to follow the money and protect children, and this investigation very much remains ongoing. I think Americans are ready to see people go to prison on a large scale and be held accountable for their actions. I think there's still a feeling that this is all just going to be a media circus, and a couple months down the road, there's not really going to be that many arrests, and it's all going to be swept under the rug. I think Trump can get a huge political win here if he and his FBI can double down, find the perpetrators of the scheme, and actually begin arresting them. Will they turn it into political theater? Probably. Is that great? Probably not. However, I think the American people, by and large, are tired of believing that they have to abide by a different code of conduct, and then they see these people steal for millions of dollars, and we kind of feel like nothing's going to happen. There are 539 childcare centers in Washington state that list Somali as the primary language. Most don't even give a street address. I think one of the reasons the Nick Shirley video is going mega viral right now on X and social media is because it's created a black pill moment for many Americans. I'm including myself with that. You work hard, you follow the rules, you pay your taxes, and then you find out that billions of your taxpayer dollars were stolen through fraud. I'm not ignorant to believe that fraud wasn't going on. Of course, there's fraud in the world, and we do our best to stop it. But then when you find out that it was really this easy, I mean, Nick Shirley just walked up to the daycare centers and found out just the most simple of due diligence could have stopped this. It's kind of disheartening, isn't it? That you feel like there's certain people in this country that abide by a different code of conduct. And are you confident that anything's going to happen? Are you confident that people are going to be arrested? And I also think many of us are starting to see this type of theater for what it is. This
child, like this right here, the lieutenant governor, this white woman, gonna sit up here and cosplay like she's Somalian. Just a liberal white woman, child, liberal white women. I don't like y'all. Okay, let me make it be known in case you hear, not one bit, because you'll do stupid shit like this, or like they did when Nancy Pelosi dressed up in kente cloth, looking half damn crazy, kneeling down, supposedly doing some shit for Juneteenth. No, that's some bullshit. That's gonna make no difference in my fucking life. Save that shit. Do something about what the fuck is going on. So the lieutenant governor, what is her name? Peggy Flanagan. I'm going to have to write these names down. She can get it too. You responsible too, bitch? What are you doing to help out? What are you doing to get Tim Tom to get it together? What are you doing to say whose head needs to roll because no one audited this shit and it got this daggone far? Or are you allegedly on the take as well? I'm just saying, allegedly. Shout out to my fave. He said Tim Walz got him gooch tatted up. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, sir. I cannot. Y'all are crazy. Anyway, that's basically it from Spencer. I think Spencer did a good job. Shout out to him and all the other news programs. There's some half damn crazy people around here saying some half damn crazy shit, not only in these videos, but also in this chat. But that's all good. Everybody can have their opinion. If you think this is all good because these people are Somalian, then that's fucking fine. I'm saying I don't give a fuck who they are. Fraud is fraud is fraud. Stealing is stealing is stealing. Making shit up and making people think that it's this when it's really that is some bull fucking shit. And there's plenty of people that's fighting for some asylum seekers to fucking stay here. And those are the people that be taking some of y'all's benefits, specifically talking to the poors. And I might even be including the fake poors. Y'all the one that need the shit. Y'all the one that want the shit. Y'all the one that be wanting for the shit. Y'all the ones that should be out here fighting to make sure that these motherfuckers go where the hell it is that they need to go. Damn government need to do their fucking job and get the hell on out here and make sure this shit happens. And Tim Tom and Ilian and the Lieutenant Flanagan lady and anybody, the mayor and anybody else, those are the people who need to be focused on and stop letting your Trump derangement syndrome get out of fucking hand. These people allowed this shit to happen. And if it's in the billions and then y'all gonna turn around and act like it's not a big deal, remember that shit when your ass go looking for something. Shout out to Reaper. I appreciate you. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to Aliyah. Thank you for hanging in there. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Shout out to all the new people. Child, you just don't know what you in for. It's the 31st. Tomorrow is 2026. We're going to have some fun around here. Appreciate y'all. I see you all in the next one.
It is difficult. You don't go blind because you married. I see titties and booties every day. Huh? I see titties and booties every day. I see titties and booties every day. I see titties and booties every day. Brothers, y'all gonna leave me out here? I need the men to stand up and say amen. If you ain't said that, oh sir. Let the church say amen. Titties and booties, titties and booties, titties and booties. I see titties and booties, titties and booties, titties and booties, titties and booties. I see titties and every day. Titties and booties, titties and booties, titties and booties. I see titties and booties, titties and booties, titties and booties, titties and wait, the wing makes go. What kind of shit is that? Booties, booties and titties and titties and booties, titties and titties and titties and every day. Booties and titties and titties and booties, booties and titties and titties and booties, booties and titties and titties and booties, booties and titties and titties and every day. Titties and booties, 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 titties and booties. I need the men to stand up and say amen. Brothers, y'all gonna leave me out here? Titties and booties, titties and booties, titties and booties. I see titties and booties, titties and booties, titties and